An incredibly important day for Salford City. Manager Carl Robinson calling it the biggest day in the club's competition. Average attendance last season, 2,500. They've got over 6,000 here at the Etihad. That's more than they can fit into their own Peninsula Stadium. The team owned by the Manchester United greats, a class of 92, basically give us a de facto Manchester derby live on Talksport this afternoon as League Two Salford City face Manchester City playing in the FA Cup third round for the first time. Your commentary team, the former Watford captain Troy Deeney and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Hugh, and a good evening to you for what is the first ever local derby between these clubs, a fixture that even 20 years ago would have been utterly inconceivable. Up until the 1980s, Salford City were playing local league football. Then they were semi-pros in tiers 9 and 10 for another 3 decades after that. When the class of 92 took an interest, everything changed. Financial largesse has benefited both of these clubs at their level. As Manchester City have risen from League One to European champions, so Salford have been propelled from the North West Counties League to the top 3 of League Two. 4 promotions in 5 years. Now a first ever appearance in the third round of the Cup. 10 years ago this weekend, they were playing in front of 340 at Bamber Bridge. Decade on, it's 150 times more than that in a game that epitomises this great competition. The Ammies already boast a League Cup success against Leeds, but a win here will be on a different level entirely. Salford in their red shirts and white shorts, defending the end away to our right-hand side. That, the south stand of the ground, houses about 6,000 travelling Salford supporters, although it's estimated that about probably 4,000 of the 6,000 are actually Manchester United fans who have come here to take this game in. It will be City that will get us underway. 2 clubs separated by 5 miles on the map, 65 places in the league, and untold millions in the bank. A huge disparity to bridge as the neighbouring cities of Manchester and Salford collide. Referee Josh Smith just waiting for the signal to get the game underway. Troy, what's going through the minds right now of some of the more inexperienced of those Salford players?
They're wondering why they can feel their heart beating in their ears. Everything is through the roof right now. It's a really big moment, really enjoyable moment, but also one of those childhood moments where you're looking around going, oh my God, I saw this one on Sky Sports. Oh my God, I saw this one on Match of the Day. And then there's probably a little bit of immaturity thinking, whose shirt can I get as well?
Well, we're underway. Manchester City in light blue shirts, white shorts, and they're kicking from left to right in this first half. And in possession over on the far touchline. James McAtee can bring it forward. Gets it down towards Savinho on the City right. He's 15 yards outside the penalty area. Tucks the ball down towards Mateus Nunes, who's started on the right for City, playing at right back. Simpson Pusey back in towards the feet of Nunes, who rides the first challenge that comes in, gets towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got plenty of traffic to try and navigate. Savinho will be able to pick it up, takes it down towards the dead ball line, rolls it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Ashley's there to be able to dig it clear, and Salford survived the first wave of Manchester City pressure.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're going to see for a long, long time in this game now. Wave after wave of attack. It's just the way that the Premier League players move. Having been through all the levels myself, you can see the Salford guys are game and they're ready. The Man City boys just move better. They take the ball in better situations.
First opportunity for Salford to bring it forward with a Delican. It's cut out by Nico O'Reilly, who's playing at left back for Manchester City. So Nunes playing at right back and O'Reilly on the left. O'Reilly ordinarily a central midfielder, and certainly not Nunes' customary role either. It's just poked into his path now by Ake and deflected out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester City right. Leeds against Harrogate underway as well. They're a couple of minutes in at Elland Road, and that one is 0-0 and live for you right now over on Talksport 2. It's a day in the FA Cup that has seen victories for Birmingham City and Wolves, Blackburn and Liverpool, Leicester, Bournemouth, Plymouth winning at Brentford, the big shock of the day, Chelsea, Exeter, Brighton and Nottingham Forest all through. Burnley and Stoke made it through in extra time in their games as well. Now plenty more live action for you tomorrow, including Tamworth against Tottenham, which kicks off at 12:30. That's followed by Arsenal against Manchester United at 3 live and exclusive to national radio here on Talksport. And we'll also bring you Newcastle against Bromley tomorrow afternoon on Talksport 2. Salford have a free kick inside the centre circle, which is clipped up towards the edge of the penalty area. And then after Kouassi won the initial ball, Burko tries to get the cross in. It's cut out. Forner is going to be able to bring it forward. Played back into his path by Lund. Won back by Grealish, who then just gets caught as he turns on the edge of his own penalty area by Matty Lund. And it's a free kick that City will take quickly with Ilkay Gundogan. 0-0.
Yeah, you can see already Salford, anytime they get an opportunity to put that ball in the box, they're going to try and do it. That's probably their advantage, stronger in the air. But they are set up really well, trying to just negate City, to keep playing it around the back, pressing quite high and allowing some little traps. But Man City, as they always do, set up comfortably. And this is how they would like this game, to be totally honest with you. It's not harem, scarem. It's Salford being brave in their shape, but not brave and crazy and reckless in going after them.
Edison, whose last FA Cup tie was as a substitute at Bristol City. This is actually the first one that he's played on home soil since 2019. Plays it out, Ake. Working it forward here for Simpson Pusey, the youngster who's making his third start for the club, got caught. He's able to work it forward for Nunes. Nunes travelling in possession, finding Savinho. Savinho inside the Salford penalty area, then comes back out to get it onto his favoured left foot. He sets up O'Reilly. He cuts across it from distance and sends it into the Salford fans for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good play there from Savinho as it comes out to him on that right-hand side. Looked like he was going to get a shot off early, but carried on and decided to go across the box. Sets it out to O'Reilly, who probably has a young, inexperienced rush of blood, because there's a 2v1 on the outside if he goes to Grealish with Doku on the outside of him, but decides this is his moment, he's got to have his shot. And even for the young players at Salford, they'll see that even the young players at Man City can make the bad mistakes.
Yeah, Nico O'Reilly, only 19, is making his FA Cup debut. He started the Community Shield and both of the League Cup ties, but this is only the 4th senior start of his career today. Ilkay Gundogan, who scored that early goal in the final a couple of years ago, and takes a throw quickly, goes back to Simpson Pusey. Edison playing it out. Ake can come forward with a ball from outside his own penalty area, and he's near the edge of the centre circle. He lays it out to the left-hand side for O'Reilly. A good turn then by Jeremy Doku, and Doku taking on and beating Shepherd. Now faced up by Minoga, gets towards the byline, flighted inside the penalty area and deflected wide of the near post, and out for the first corner.
Yeah, really good play from Doku. That's that Premier League quality. Unfortunately, this is the problem we've been seeing with Doku. Does really well, gets past one, gets past two, gets to the byline. When it's an opportunity to pick someone out or pick somebody out, hits that first man, he's out for a corner. Just massive game for him, in my opinion, if we're going to see if he will stay around long term for Man City.
Jeremy Doku scored in the final last season. It's not been a stellar time as a City player so far. The corner comes in and Curtis Tilt, the Jamaican international, heads it away. And he goes out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the far touchline. Tilt, a man with plenty of experience. They signed him from Wigan. He, like Lund, in their 30s. Lund actually in the Rochdale side that knocked Leeds out of the FA Cup 11 years ago. So for all the youth that they've got on the bench, there is a little bit of canniness and know-how on the field as well for a Salford side. Third in League Two, as Hugh was saying in the build-up. They've gone from 20th up to third over the last few months or so. They won 6 games in a row and haven't conceded for 9 hours and 50 minutes, which is an extraordinary record. Manchester City in possession. On halfway with Nathan Ake. Ake will just play it forward towards O'Reilly. Riley clipping it in left-footed. To attack there by Mbama. Headed away from him. Gundogan will try and help it over the top. That one headed away as well. Bounces a little bit awkwardly for Lund, but he's done well to turn it out towards the right-hand side for Minoga. And the former Portsmouth man chases up the Salford right. Easily won back by Manchester City, who work it back for Edison. Very nearly sold Simpson Pusey short with the ball through the penalty area. He did get to it, the youngster, and was able to clear, but Curtis Till gets it away from Mabama. City winning the seconds in the midfield. Nunes again able to travel forward in possession. Slips it to his left-hand side for Grealish. One more to Doku, and it's in off the inside of the post to give Manchester City the lead after 7.5 minutes. Salford hearts broken early on. Great passing, fluent move from Manchester City. Nunes to Grealish, out to Doku, steadied himself, fired it across goalkeeper Matty Young, and Manchester City lead Salford 1-0.
Great finish there from Doku. Really good play. He comes from Ashley, trying to bring a ball down in the middle, on his chest, has been headed out. Just help it on. Just help it on. Keep yourself in there. Try to show he can play. Carl Robinson won't be too happy with that, but unfortunately, Man City break. Nunes goes in with real great intensity, runs away, plays a little slip ball to his left-hand side on the edge of the box. Jack Grealish looks like he's going to shoot. Little eyes, little disguised ball. Great perfect weight for Doku, and we just spoke about him needing to show a little bit of class, a little bit of quality, and especially end product. What a finish. Passed into that far post, off the post and in. Really good for him, really good start for Man City.
Now the first goal that Salford have conceded in 7 games, 9 hours and 50 minutes. The long streak without conceding is ended at. Here's Kouassi. Salford look for an immediate response. Ball pulled back for Luke Garbett. His ball fired inside the penalty area, and the looping header from Lund ends up on the roof of the net. Edison scrambling back quickly. Very grateful to see that ball dipping just the right side of the bar as far as he was concerned.
Well, maybe that goal's helped Salford, took the shackles off. It's the first time they got close. Really good play in the corner from the striker. Turns out, plays it back to Guthbert, who takes one big touch, just puts it into an area. It's a really good attacking header from Lund. Gets on it, just can't keep it down, but certainly scared Man City and showed us a little bit of life in this Salford team if they don't take them seriously.
Nunes sends a high ball out towards the far touchline, and Minoga is able to head that away. Haji Minoga, a part of an older shot side that made a little bit of FA Cup history last year. They were the first non-league team ever to put 7 past the league side in the FA Cup. 7 up at Swindon at one stage in that game. They won it 7-4. Minoga played that day, but a much bigger occasion for him 14 months on. He's been in the African Cup of Nations in between times for Tanzania. Here's O'Reilly making his way forward. Mabama was waiting at the far post. It's knocked into the side netting by Savinho, who's claiming it just took a little nick off a Salford player on the way through, but a goal kick is the verdict.
It's a corner, surely. Surely that's a corner. Just watching the replay now. Again, really good play from City down that left-hand side. Come from O'Reilly, puts a lovely ball in. And again, really good defending from Garbett at the back post. As it drops to Savinho, maybe 7-8 yards out on the angle, he's trying to nick it in that near post. It clearly just takes a deflection, but you know, maybe my eyes are deceiving me from this old age of 36.
Yeah, you poor old man. Yeah, I'm not sure your eyes were deceiving you, Troy, to be fair. He had a couple of assists last week, Savinho. Here's Mabama comes back and is fouled by Curtis Till. Big night for him as well. He played sporadically for West Ham. He did have a few first team appearances for them, decided to leave the club and came here in a £2 million move, and first time he's seen light of day in Manchester City blue. Leading the line, O'Reilly playing the ball in here. Savinho's touch a little bit heavy. Salford with a multitude of red shirts back inside their own penalty area, able to get it away, and Delican can turn and launches it forward. Kouassi wanted it into feet on halfway, and he played it over the top for him to run onto.
Jim, just want to let you know that's the most annoying thing in football, when a midfielder launches it all the way through to Edison in his box and then says, why weren't you running? Because even if he was running, the striker, it was 20 to 30 yards away from him. Salford just need to relax, calm down a little bit now. The goal's gone in. It should actually take the shackles off, because what's the worst that can happen? You're going to lose. Everyone who turned up assumed that was going to happen anyway. Just when without the ball, they've been really good out of shape, but with the ball, few players, and this happens a lot. I've been in teams at Watford and at Walsall when people think they have to do a little bit more, and it's like, no, just play your game and it'll work. And I'm pretty sure Cole will be down there now talking to Ryan Giggs and to Alex Bruce, asking them, why are they doing this today as opposed to last week, what they did, and we were really successful with it?
Doku's in possession for Manchester City. I'll come back to that point, Troy, in a moment, as Ake works it out towards O'Reilly on the left-hand side. Midway inside the Salford half. Doku able to turn. He will bring it forward into a central position and unleash, but Young dived, had it covered. And he goes behind him and out of play for a goal kick. 1-0 City lead, 12 minutes gone. It must be easier said than done, though. If anyone ever tells you to relax, it kind of has the opposite effect. It puts you on edge. So how do you relax? If you're in this position and you think, well, I've got to calm down, I've got to relax here, how do you do it?
Just get 1 and 2 passes off. Do the basic things really well. So from a striker's point of view, get hold of the ball, lend it off to someone. From a midfielder, win a tackle, give it to somebody else. Defenders, go and win your first contacts. But at the moment, and it does happen, it happens a lot, the players just want to have that moment when they can go, oh, do you remember, Jim, when I not make Jack Grealish, for example?
Yeah.
As opposed to just being in the game, and all those things will come later on. But at 1-0, with a bit of pressure, they can go.
And they got it again with Kevin Burko coming inside the penalty area. Now he's pulled it back, but it's easily fielded in there by McAtee. And he's continued his run forward. He's been really well found by Doku, and now he sprays it wide to the right-hand side. He's overhit it, and it seemed to gather pace and rolled away. The camber of the pitch taking it away from Savinho. It was a good opportunity there for McAtee to get Savinho in. It might have been 4 against 3 if they could have worked that right. But City in complete control, as you would expect, with 13 minutes gone and 1-0.
Yeah, it comes from Salford trying to be cute again. Getting a good area, just cross it in. They try to do that cut back as they've probably seen in the Premier League, and allow someone to come onto it. Man City plug the gaps and then they break on the counter-attack. I actually think McAtee had the wrong choice there. And Bremo for the middle made a really intelligent run. He went right to go left, made the space open bigger, and then McAtee decided to go to the right as opposed to just sliding him in for a 1v1. I'm pretty sure if Erling Haaland was there, he'd have been sliding it straight through the middle.
Erling Haaland, one of the 9 left out of this Manchester City side today. He's on the bench. They've taken no chances from that point of view. They haven't filled the bench completely with academy products. The cavalry is there, waiting to charge if necessary, but the early signs are of possession at 82-18, and City already having had 4 shots 14 minutes into the game with a goal lead, that things are going to be relatively comfortable, but you just never know. Remember, this is a Salford side in great form, as you were saying, Troy. They are the form team in this part of the world at the moment. A ball launched forward by them now. Kouassi tried to help it on. It's knocked away before it found a Delican, and McAtee calms things down, goes back to his goalkeeper Edison, who always such a languid figure, takes a couple of touches inside his 6-yard box, and he's able to play out, and Manchester City can knock it away. And Doku with an opportunity to turn Liam Shepherd, and his pace will take him past him. Now McAtee's got it. Salford getting the bodies back behind the ball very quickly, but they haven't got the ball back yet. Gundogan down for Jemai Simpson-Pusey, played forward by him to Nunes. And Simpson-Pusey again towards Ilkay Gundogan in the midfield, who can venture forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Grealish has got it. Grealish able to take it on and unleash. Right-footed shot, takes a deflection, spins away, almost kisses the corner flag on its way through, but it is a Manchester City corner. 1-0 to City.
Nice to see Jack getting the ball, isn't it, and just doing what he was doing at Villa, gliding past people. Again, the level, people will say that's what they expect from a £100 million player, but he's been a bit stop-starty, hasn't it, this season for Jack. Hasn't been able to stay fit. He'll feel that he wants a goal. He'll feel that he needs a goal as well, to show to the manager and the City fans that he can still offer, especially this middle position.
Here's Ake, and from the corner that was fired in, he headed it back across the face of goalkeeper Young, and Kouassi was there to clear it off the line. It was well defended. Delican playing it forward. Now that's gone out of play via a City man for a Salford throw. It was only a few inches away from 2. It was very good defending by Kouassi.
Yeah, again, really good header from Nathan Ake back into the area. And actually, just seeing the replay there, is it Simpson-Pusey?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he should score. He actually misses the header. So for the fans listening, you remember Havertz in the week where it's hit his shoulder? He's actually just swung and missed the ball completely. Even if it had touched his nose, it would have went in.
Yeah, Ake's header back across the face of goal was on target, but any touch from Simpson-Pusey, and it was 2-0. Should have been his first senior goal, really. Edison has to come out and sweep up, does so effectively outside the penalty area with his head, and Mbama drops deep for Manchester City to link up the play. And Ilkay Gundogan can stick his foot on the ball and bring it forward. They have only conceded from open play, Manchester City, in 2 of the last 12 FA Cup ties. In the final against Manchester United last season and against Luton in the 5th round. They've got a really good record at this stage of the competition, as you would expect. They've won each of their last 12 third-round ties since a 3-2 home defeat against Manchester United back in 2012. Giggs and Scholes both played in that game. Ryan Giggs, very much an integral part of the Salford setup at training yesterday, and he's here with Carl Robinson today. Here's Lund, just lost out of Gundogan in the midfield. Oh, it was a great turn. Shepherd has fouled Doku, and play goes on. He stayed down injured. McAtee plays it in. It's swept away by Luke Garbett, the one-time Everton defender. An opportunity now for Salford to bring it forward. The referee did play the advantage. City had the opportunity to put it out of play. I don't know whether the challenge will be revisited. Fornat laying it back for Garbett. It was a sublime turn from Doku in the centre of midfield that led to the foul on him. Yeah,
it just sold Shepherd a dream. Just walked him under the ball as it came into him. Sharp Cruyff turn, and Shepherd just quite brutally just took him apart, to be fair. Fair play to Doku, he's up and playing, but I'm just looking at this Salford team, and whenever they get the opportunity in these wide, especially in the wide areas, you've got a young man in O'Reilly who's playing his 4th game. You've got Núñez, who last time he played at fullback had a bit of a bad time, and he's probably got a little bit of PTSD from that. Go and get at him, run at him, make him scared, but they keep getting to a point and then turning back and, I don't know, doing nothing, I suppose, Jim. It feels like a weird one. I'm just watching Carl and the team there just talking, and you can see their frustration, because it's like these Salford players don't believe when they've got the ball. Without the ball, they've been excellent.
Edison drives one forward, and Mbama, given something to chase, had no chance of being able to make his way past Tilt. The ball overhit anyway, and it goes through for Matty Young, the Salford goalkeeper. He's a teenager himself, on loan from Sunderland, an England under-20 international with a really bright future ahead of him. Now O'Reilly plays it forward for City. Gundogan can travel into Salford territory, finding Núñez. Núñez slipping it down the right-hand side for Savinho. Coming inside the penalty area, threads it in for Núñez, past the goalkeeper, and bundled in for 2. It's the first Manchester City goal from Mbama on his debut. He couldn't miss. Perfectly supplied. Put on a plate for him by Matheus Núñez. And Manchester City lead Salford City 2-0 inside the opening 20 minutes. The shot will not be happening here.
This is a beautifully worked Man City goal. This is Man City of old. This is the team that's really enjoying themselves. Núñez again driving forward as he gets the ball, plays it out wide again to Savinho, but continues his run, as you see many times, makes that inside run from the 8th position, slipped in 1v1 with a goalie, little dink over, and boom, like every good striker, like Haaland, on the move, decides I'll have a little tap in from 3 or 4 yards. Well done, young man, well done. But from Salford's point of view, Núñez runs past 3 defenders, no one lays a glove on him. I see Carl Robinson again getting frustrated, calling people over, but this occasion's just becoming a little bit too big for them already, and it's a shame. This is what he didn't want when we spoke to him beforehand. He wanted to have a bit more belief and solidarity, but this could get ugly really, really quick.
Well, Divine Mbama scored one first-team goal for West Ham, and he's now matched that for Manchester City within 20 minutes of his debut. City leading Salford by 2-0. An excellent play by Matheus Núñez to make that. He is pretty much playing at right back, but playing at right back in a Manchester City style, so coming forward, making those diagonal runs into the pockets of space almost as an inside forward at times. He's got the ball now, linking up well with Savinho, and he works it through the midfield for Ilkay Gundogan.
Yeah, he's basically a right back centre mid 6 and a striker. That's the Man City way of playing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just throw them all in a 28. House. Here's Ake inside the centre circle. Manchester City 2, Salford City 0. Jim Prattle and Troy Deeney talking you through the action here at the Etihad. Don't forget, it's a choice of live commentary for you right now over on Talksport 2. The Yorkshire derby between Leeds and Harrogate, 0-0 midway through the first half. And over on Talksport 2, they're underway as well. Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday. That was a 6 o'clock kickoff. So they played 8 minutes there, and that's still goalless. Ball is worked for by Simpson Busey. Obama ends up on the deck. Clever canny defending by Curtis Tilt, who's now got Savinho to deal with, and that was canny defending from him as well. Really well played by the experienced centre half, and an awkward fall for Savinho. So Tilt leant into him and went shoulder to shoulder, and the Manchester City man lost his balance as a result of that. Now, there's a fairly substantial runoff here at the Etihad, much bigger than it is at Old Trafford, for instance. But the problem that he had was that his momentum took him tumbling, and he fell down into the camera pit behind the goal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, Till's done nothing wrong there. He's defended really well, shepherded him out, and he's actually been a gentleman and gone to help him, because as we see, he's disappeared because of that drop off at the end of the City pitch. And for some reason, Savinho's tried to fight him, and as somebody that knows Tilt quite well, it's probably a battle you're going to lose, young man. Just leave it alone.
Gundogan plays one over the top here, and Tilt back in action against Mbama. And he was forced to concede a throw that will be taken on the Manchester City right. Manchester City 2, Salford 0. Premier League teams already through to the next round. Everton, Fulham, Villa and Wolves, Liverpool, Leicester, Bournemouth and Chelsea, Brighton and Forest. Now Manchester City looking to make it 11. Will lose at least one more tomorrow. Arsenal and Manchester United going head-to-head at 3 here on Talksport. You won't hear it anywhere else on national radio. West Ham out last night. Brentford out in the shock of the round at home to Championship basement boys Plymouth in West London today. Also through so far, Cardiff, Blackburn, Plymouth, Burnley and Stoke from the Championship. Wycombe, Birmingham and Exeter from League One. You're listening to Manchester City against Salford in the FA Cup on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Simpson Busey manages to nudge the ball away from Adelakun to get it back to his goalkeeper. Edison will clear, and it goes out of play. Also a very good morning to you if you're listening on Sirius XM FC across the United States and Canada. Good morning to you on another day of epic third round action. Now Salford have a problem here because their goalkeeper Matty Young is down in the D. I don't know whether he's injured himself. He's sitting, he's like he's on a lounger poolside somewhere in June rather than on a very brisk January early evening here in Manchester. And what this problem for him does allow is an opportunity for Carl Robinson to get his tactical message across to the rest of the team, and for Pep Guardiola to do likewise to Manchester City. Now, I'm not remotely suggesting here that Young hasn't got a genuine problem. What I will say, it's become increasingly prevalent over the course of the last 18 months that goalkeepers do tend to go down and need treatment midway through halves so that tactical masterclasses can be dished out on the touchline. I'm not remotely saying that is what's happening here, because he does look in some pain, but you're going to say it for me.
I'll say it for you, don't worry. Let me take the bullets, mate.
So what needs to happen is, in this situation, that players can't come over and get instruction from the managers.
What needs to happen is they should make the keeper come and stand at the side for 30 seconds, and I guarantee the next one won't do it. Look, he's up, he's fine. This is just a situation where Cole's told his team, and again, you've got to do it because as a manager you need a break, because he can't keep letting it go like this. He's told his goalie, go down, buy us a few seconds, and he's been able to get some instruction in. As you can see, the Man City players are already back in shape, ready to go. There's actually a throw-in for Salford, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 players still going, where am I playing and what am I doing? So it's clearly the managers do that. The young man in goal, Young, he's still up, he's about, he's moving, and as you said, he was lying on a sun lounge today. He was thinking about the summer coming up and being in Ibiza, wasn't he? Fair play to him.
Yeah, he's okay. He's going to be able to continue. The ball is out of play for a throw that will be taken by Salford over on the right-hand side. And you're right, any outfield player goes down and the medical staff comes on. That's the obligatory 30 seconds on the touchline. Maybe maybe it's something that needs to be looked at. But that's just me being an old cynic. Garbutt plays the ball forward. Salford 2 down here at the Etihad with goals from Doku on 8 and Mbama on 20. Now the ball is at the feet of Ashley, the midfield anchor for Salford. And back from him to Garbutt, played into the feet of Fornar. And now Tilt will come outside his own penalty area, and he'll just clip one forward and looking for the flick on from Medelican, which was forthcoming. Burko will chase after that. Nunes trots across, heads it down for O'Reilly on the edge of the Manchester City penalty area, and his ball out. We'll see Doku's eyes light up because he's got the opportunity to take on Shepherd and Lund, but he couldn't beat them both. Pep not happy that he tried to take on them both. Opportunity for Salford to bring it forward now towards Burko on the left-hand side. Finding it difficult to deal with Nunes. He's done well, works it past him. Garbutt's ball in, hits Simpson Busey. He can turn and work it away, and Mbama will hold that up, but concede a throw, which will be taken on halfway on the Salford left. It's 2-0 to Manchester City, and here's former FA Cup finalist Troy Deeney.
You see the little change that Coles, it looks like they've gone to like 4 at the back. When they've got the ball as opposed to the 3. It's definitely pushed the fullbacks on a bit higher to try and make City have to defend and force them back. But just going on a slightly separate note, Jim, just looking at Mbama up front, big, powerful young man, looks really solid, looks like he's built for men's football. Been really impressive with him so far. Really, obviously he's got his goal, but putting himself about, not shirking a challenge. You see sometimes these young lads, they come in for the 23s. You've got big Curtis Tilt coming over the top. Normally they'll shirk it. He's took everything that he can, and he's so far really, really impressed with the young man.
Yep, only 20, and just a handful of appearances off the bench in the Premier League as a West Ham player. He did actually play in the Hammer side that was beaten at this stage of the FA Cup by Championship Bristol City last season, but not too much experience in terms of men's football. And Mbama, only a couple of dozen appearances in his career so far, but he looks apart. Here's Simpson Busey working it forward. Savinho now on the Manchester City right. He's midway inside the Salford half. He just draws the challenge of Forno, throws his hands up in dismay as he was easily worked past him. Gundogan and Savinho, little 1-2. That was dug clear by Tilt on the edge of the area, only as far as Grealish. Doku bringing it inside the penalty area, couldn't get a decent cross in, and it hit London, goes out of play for a throw that Grealish will trot across the tape.
Yeah, again, that's back-to-back times now. We're sat, 20 yards behind Pep. Every time Doku tries to take someone and does a little bit too much, he's exasperated. He's throwing his arms in the air because, like we said earlier, you want to see that bit of quality, especially in those final thirds. He will need this as an exhibition for the games coming up in the Premier League. Who can I trust to do what I'm asking simply, basically, all the time? And these little bits of showboating actually will go the other way and make the manager think, you're not taking this as seriously as I want you to.
Now City back in action in the Premier League Tuesday night. They go to Brentford. Ball play forward here. And Nunes heading it on. Grealish doing well to work it around the corner. McAtee for Mbama, who's flagged offside. It might be the first mistake he's made.
Yeah, a little bit lazy getting back on. He looks like he hasn't played, and again, I know he hasn't, but he looks like he hasn't played a game to this magnitude or tempo in a while. Emotionally, he looks a bit drained at the moment. Could do with, I know I'm talking a little bit out of turn, but I'd like to see him in a League One team, maybe playing week in, week out, get his stripes. You see what the loan moves did for the Delap, obviously now who's at Ipswich. So for somebody like him, go out, get your games, go score some goals, and then be ready to try and attack this first team next season. Because right now he'll play a few minutes. When he gets to the business end, we know that the big man's coming in, don't we, Mr. Erling Haaland?
Well, absolutely. Free kick taken by Salford is headed away, but this gives him the opportunity to put himself in the shop window.
Absolutely.
But you never know, he could be out on loan next week. And you're absolutely right, it is the first time that he's played first team football of any sort since at least last April. So maybe there is a little bit of rustiness. Clearance from Young, not the best. Salford goalkeeper's got away with it though, and Garbutt can pick it up as it looked as though a low clearance, which only went about 40 yards, was going to be instantly returned with interest from a City player. Garbutt has it, goes back for goalkeeper Young again. Beaten twice inside the opening 20 minutes, powerless to do anything about either of them. Here's Garbutt, who played Premier League and Europa League football for Everton back in the day. Worked back to the goalkeeper by Fornah, and Young whacks it straight out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Manchester City right. 2-0.
Creating their own problems, Salford, unfortunately. Some try to play, some try to do what they did last week, which is hair them, scare them and get after them, and they're just caught in between. Should we do what we normally do, or should we show that we can play football? And I'm just watching Cole just losing his head, really. He's probably thinking, like, come on, what's going on? Because a lot of finger pointing, and we talk about just how big a game these can be. I've been here both in the Premier League and in the FA Cup with Watford and lost different types of games, but it can cause a bit of problems as well when you start blaming and that blame culture creeps in. It can have a lasting effect, because you're not expected to do anything, but you don't want to embarrass yourself.
Now ball slipped forward by Doku for Grealish, and tilt was across the cover. It's out of play for a corner, which will be taken over on the City left. It's their third.
Well, look, you can see his reaction, Curtis Tilt. He's not happy. The experienced pro there again, losing battles. If you're Salford, that's what your bread and butter should be today. 50-50 slide tackles. Whether you're quick enough or technically good enough is a completely different thing, but go in and be combative. And he's getting frustrated, the big fella.
Well, he's one of the Salford players back inside the 6-yard box as the corner comes in. It was volleyed away eventually by Adelican towards halfway, and City can mop up there, and they will go all the way back to their goalkeeper Edison, who's way outside his penalty area and just side foots the pass forward towards McAtee to build for Manchester City again. City work it towards Doku. Doku just on his heels, and that's allowed Salford the opportunity to win it back. Well played by Ashley. He gets it wide towards Burko. Savinho back, did a brilliant covering job there. Slid in, Nunes can do the rest, clearing from inside his penalty area. Good then defensive header from Lund, getting it back for the experienced Tilt. Tilt playing it to Fornah, who just goes the way that he's facing, working it across to Liam Shepherd. And Salford inside their own half of the centre circle, calm things down and go back to the goalkeeper Young again. 2-0 Manchester City lead. And Carl Robinson still cutting such an animated figure inside his technical area, working it forward. And the ball bounces away off Kouassi. Kouassi goes down for Adelican, and he will get it back towards Garbett. Salford trying to make headway inside Manchester City territory here. Kouassi riding one challenge, riding a second. Can he get a shot in? Yes, he can. But Edison diving to his right hand side, he's able to dive down onto it and make a very comfortable stop. But better from Salford.
Yes, finally, someone with a bit of belief. Kouassi just getting the ball. He's got 3-4 Man City players around him, but he's got into the box like he should do, which means no one can put a foot in. He's running across the edge of the box. I actually thought he should have set one of his teammates, but you've earned that right, and he gets a little shot off, goes through two legs. Edison's too good to let that trouble him, but just does the basics really, really well.
Doku over on the Manchester City left-hand side. City looking for a third. We've played 35 minutes. Doku getting towards the byline. A little bit of pinball inside the box. Eventually was cleared by Garbett. Comes back outside the box for Nico O'Reilly. O'Reilly down towards Doku, the scorer of Manchester City's first. Mabama, the scorer of the second, the furthest forward, standing by the penalty spot, just waiting for any kind of delivery. None forthcoming at the moment. Jack Grealish has got it. Grealish making headway down the Manchester City left, but it's knocked away from him. Then one of the Salford players goes down. They were caught over on that far touchline. It's going to be a free kick that will be taken by the Amis. And Minoga is the player that is down. Just writhing in a little bit of pain, caught on his left ankle. I think he's all right. He's going to be back on his feet without the need for treatment. 2-0 to Manchester City.
I was just going to say, I was just thinking as we watched Salford trying to take this free kick. If I was Carl Robinson, there was a moment just 3 or 4 minutes ago where Savinho's trapped back and sprinted back and made a tackle, set his goalkeeper. I'd clip that up and I'd show my players on Monday morning, go, right, for all the quality and expertise that this Man City team has, that's what it's based off. Hard work, grit, determination. And what I found when I went through the levels is people just seem to assume that the top boys were just good. They do the hard work, they do the hard yards, and that's what the difference is between League 2 and League One and champ. It's every time you go up, they do the hard yards with some quality.
That's Savinho on the edge of the penalty area. Plays the ball back for Jemai Simpson-Pusey. Ake. He's able to come forward about 6 or 7 yards through the midfield. Gundogan then down towards the City right-hand side for Savinho. Nearly every Salford player back behind the ball, and he's almost level with the edge of the penalty area. Setting up Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan to Grealish. Still waiting for his first goal of the season, Jack Grealish. He turns one way and then the other. Flicks it out towards the left. Jeremy Doku coming in off that left-hand side. Again, unleashing from distance from a tight angle. And it was almost impossible for it to get through the forest of legs. It was blocked. Gundogan will pick up the loose ball in the midfield and City will come again, but it's more a little bit of frustration from Pep about the decision making of Doku, and Carl Robinson not happy with something that he's seen as well.
Tyrese Fornan has just signalled, I think his groin's just gone, he's just signalled to the bench that he's in a bit of trouble, so Carl Robinson has sent a few out. With the number 6 in the middle of the park for Salford, not moving well at all, but he's just signalled that I think his groin's just gone, and that's not good for Salford or for the young man himself.
Ryan Watson will be the natural replacement. It'll be interesting to see whether he is called back. He hasn't been yet. Doku across the edge of the area. Here's McAtee coming outside the box. Savinho leaning back, fires a left-footed effort from the edge of the D. Overall, the Salford players were way over the bar as well. Manchester City 2. Salford 0. As I mentioned earlier, 6,000 travelling supporters from Salford. It's about 5 miles, the ground about 5 miles to the northwest of here. Among the away fans, we understand, Salford born Phil Bardsley in the away end today. So the story goes. Here to watch his hometown club.
Fair play to him.
Man that knows everybody in the class of 92 so well, of course. Here's Savinho coming forward up the right-hand touchline and a driving forward. Now, did he lean into Garbett, or did Garbett foul him?
Get up, man. Get up. That's twice, brother. They're 2-0 up, and you're going through on goal against League 2 Salford with the greatest of respect, and you're still diving. He goes past him, Jim. Look, no problem. Drops the left shoulder. Nowhere near him. Book him. Embarrassing.
Well, Garbett absolutely made no contact whatsoever. I think Savinho was anticipating the contact and went down in anticipation of it, but it just wasn't there.
There was more chance of Garbett hitting me and you than there was him then, how far away it was.
Well, if it hit me, I'd have used you as my bodyguard, so it would have been all right. I would have suggested the other way around might not have been such a profitable strategy. The ball is out for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester City right. They're only about 5 or 6 yards from their own corner flag. We've got 5 minutes to go to half-time. City 2, Salford 0. Manchester City looking for a third straight win in all competitions after that barren run. It would only be their 4th win in 16 games in all competitions, but they've got a free kick to defend here, which has been won in just about position A. Lund is the player that has gone down. Now Grealish across to protest his innocence, but Lund found himself sandwiched between Grealish and Gundogan. It did look like a free kick. It's maybe just a couple of yards further out than is ideal, but 3 Salford players stand over this. There's a 3-man wall lined up by Edison, which is about 2 yards outside the penalty area. Adelican stands over it. He's looking the favourite, and now, as soon as I say he looks the favourite, peels away, but he offers himself for the short one that is worked wide to him. Right-footed, he's clipped it inside the area, and it very nearly found its way through. Eventually bundled clear by one of the Manchester City defenders, but what a good opportunity that was for Kouassi.
Don't mean to be nasty, you've got to score, young man. What a ball into the area. He's in the... There's another one.
It's Lund, and he's played it back, and it's driven wide by Burko. That's not such a good chance. The first one, though, any kind of clean contact gets Salford back in the game. That one snatched at from a tight angle. And it was a high tariff chance. He should have done better than he did. Yeah, the first one had to go in. Yeah, but this second one, they just work it from a throw-in. Literally touch out the feet. Lovely ball again. Second cross in 30 seconds into that 6-yard box. Lund takes his first touch. Probably should try and score, but takes it away. Sets Burko, who sliced it wide. But the one before, oh my goodness.
Kasami should he's literally 4 yards out, but he's tried to be perfect with it. Slide tackle the ball if you have to. Hit your shin and it will go in. Has to score, and these are the moments when you get 1 or 2 when you play against Man City in your whole game. You have to score them. Kouassi, I just said something else there, but Kouassi I meant, Jim, sorry.
Yep, Kouassi, and he's just drawn an offside flag. In fact, it's Burko, I beg your pardon, has just drawn an offside flag here. A free kick to Manchester City. 2 other games going on as we speak in the FA Cup, and the deadlock broken at the CBS, where Coventry leads Sheffield Wednesday 1-0. Liam Kitching has scored that goal. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff, and Liam Kitching has given the Sky Blues the lead there. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Good start for Frank Lampard's men, who haven't won in 3 but were semi-finalists and very nearly finalists in this competition last season. Leeds against Harrogate coming towards half-time over on Talksport 2, still goalless. Doku has scored the first of Manchester City's 2 so far tonight, pulling it back inside the air. O'Reilly, it's 3 now. Really good finish from O'Reilly. Doku making it, getting to the byline. And there's a clever angle on the pullback. Nico O'Reilly there slams home the first senior goal of his career. And Manchester City are 3 up before the break.
Really, really nice finish. The enigma that is Doku. Go down that left-hand side. Excellent this time. Skips past 1 or 2. Has a bit of composure in the box. Stops. Sets the ball back for O'Reilly. 1 touch. Nails it from the left-hand side. Low and hard. Into that far corner. No chance for the keeper. And unfortunately for Salford at their best moment, they've let a goal in right before half-time. Going into half-time at 2-0, you would still have a tiny bit of belief. But now I feel like that's game, set, match, unfortunately.
Well, it's a goal from O'Reilly that's come, 2 minutes after that miss at the other end.
Yeah.
It could easily have been just a goal between them going into half-time. Now it's 3. And Manchester City in utter control. Grealish thought that he won the ball cleanly in the midfield, but he's fouled Ashley, and it's a free kick that Salford will take inside the centre circle, and that Garbutt has taken it. O'Reilly actually had time to take a touch, set himself beautifully, and fired it crisply into the bottom right-hand corner after a really good play by Jeremy Doku. Now Burko, played in left-hand side of the City penalty area. His cross took a deflection that didn't quite fall Ashley's way. They're cleared by City out towards Savinho. Just calming influence in there, lays it back for Gundogan, and now Ake can come outside the penalty area, and O'Reilly will bring it forward. So goal from left back for Nico O'Reilly. Manchester City leading Salford by 3-0.
He's been solid though, hasn't he, O'Reilly? No, don't really see much of him, but everything he does is solid, and he's 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and the finish was a 10 out of 10. It was excellent, but throughout the game, not really seeing anybody run him, be physical with him. Looks a big boy as well, so looks like he could have a really good career.
Gone into stoppage time at the end of the first half, 3 minutes of it, and 3-0 the score. McAtee controlling the ball on halfway, laying it back for Ilkay Gundogan, and he goes long, route 1 over the top, but just with a little bit too much power. Mabama made the right run, chased after it. Young came right to the edge of his penalty area, and the ball got there first.
It was the right pass. There was Mabama and Jack Grealish were in, but unfortunately Ilkay Gundogan just put a little bit too much on it. Probably needed a bit of snow on it to drop, as opposed to being driven. So as soon as it hit the ground, he just ran through to the keeper. But Salford look tired now.
Yeah, they need half-time. They desperately need half-time. Ball will be played for down the Hammy's left-hand side. of Delican working it in towards Burko. McAtee will be able to bring it away. The referee has pulled play back because Gundogan just got caught. And it's a free kick the City will just take outside their penalty area. Not too many starting today for Manchester City who started last season's final, as Ake and Jeremy Doku as well. Doku scored in that final and scoring the first today. Now Mabama is offside. Just worked forward to him, but made his run too early. Flag up, and a free kick that Salford will take nearer halfway than the edge of their own penalty area. 3-0 to Manchester City.
It was actually really good play from Curtis Tilt, It's a good run, and Curtis Tilt goes with him, but just as Doku's about to play it, Curtis Tilt jumps up, uses his experience, just catches the young man offside. But again, don't want to over-egg it, but really impressed with the young man's movement. The way he comes short, the way he delivers. Looks like he could have a really, really good, exciting career.
And Nunes with an air kick inside his penalty area, and then tried to get it away. Looked as though he might have conceded a corner, but a goal kick has been given. And the referee is going to call Lund over. And just have a word with the Salford number 8. He's got his message across, everything calmed down. I think Lund saying, well, it was definitely a corner, but goal kick is the verdict. Edison's going to take it away to our left-hand side. Got 30 seconds of the first half remaining here on Talksport. Leeds against Harrogate live on Talksport 2 is half-time. That is 0-0 if you've got the Talksport app. Throughout the second half, you're going to be able to swipe left, swipe right, keep abreast with both games. But that one with plenty of jeopardy in it still. 0-0 at Ellen Road in the Yorkshire Derby. But the Greater Manchester Derby is not swathed in jeopardy, I think it's fair to say at the moment. 3-0 Manchester City lead. And they work it forward. Do Salford down towards Tyrese Forno, who gets the last touch of the first half, but has been troublesome for Carl Robinson and his men. City quickly out of the trap, scoring with Doku. Mabama added a second, his first goal for the club. O'Reilly's first goal for the club, the first senior goal of his career to make it 3-0 by half-time. The shock is not materialising here. Man City 3, Salford 0 at the break.
I don't know whether to be harsh against Salford City or not. I don't know whether my view is, if you're going to go away from home against one of the best teams in Europe and you're going to cause a shock, there were kind of some bare minimums that need to be in your performance. It comes to attitude and application, really. And I looked at some of those Salford players and I saw slumped shoulders, complaining, moaning, looking at the bench. And I get it. You're taking on an incredible team with an incredible manager. But you need to have your head right. You need to know that going away, you're not going to have the ball. You need to know that it's going to be difficult. You're going to have to ride the wave again and again and again and again. You're going to have to keep running. You're going to have to do all the things that you don't want to do as a footballer, in the hope that you can get that one moment to shock the world. And unfortunately, we didn't see that attitude from Salford City. This is beside the point when it comes to the quality of football. You know, Tyrese Forner was out there pointing fingers and slumped shoulders, and you think he would have won 5 Champions Leagues alongside Modric and Kroos the way that he was going on. It just wasn't right.
No,
you know, I can't moan because the quality is, the gap is clearly there.
Of course. But
I just wanted to see something a little bit different from Salford's attitude coming here.
Yeah, but you have to remember, and again, you highlighted the young man Forner. My problem isn't arguing and moaning. My problem is when that third goal went in, he was holding his groin, and we even spoke about it on the airwaves. Like he's pointed to come off. Then he's realised, actually, I'm all right. There's a few traits I see within this Salford team that I'm sure Carl and his team have already seen. But as soon as the goals go in, a lot of self finger pointing that happens at different levels. It happens everywhere. But I see a lot of the, let's see if I can showcase what I can do to get my move. And it happens in the low leagues. Unfortunately, I've been there and you're trying to do it, but the ones that move and the ones that go on are the ones that are consistent all the time. And what I see out here is an inconsistency. Curtis Tilt is the one who I would go, I know what I'm getting from that man. 33 years old, does what it says on the tin, and he's demanding standards and demanding excellence. You can see why he's the captain. But if you are the Salford manager, the Salford fan base now, yes, you've come out for a nice day, but you'd be frustrated with what you see, because this is not a true reflection of the Salford we've seen over the past 5 or 6 weeks.
6 clean sheets in a row. You look at some of the goals.
You can't expect them to get a clean sheet today.
No, but I'm not saying that. Oh. But when you look at some of the goals, even if they would have conceded from the same situations,
yes, yeah,
the effort in terms of putting in a challenge, making a recovery run, you know, we didn't see those basics. Even if you didn't get there as a Salford player, they weren't even trying at times. And I don't know whether they've been maybe overawed by the occasion and the quality of players they've lined up against, but something just hasn't been quite right there. That is not to take away credit from what Manchester City have done in that first half, because they have so far put in a very professional and high quality performance.
As I say, I've been here and I've been on the back of drubbins, both in the Premier League and in the Championship. It's really difficult. It's an intimidating place to come, especially when I come here early on, when there's the Championship with a middling Watford team. When you're a League Two team, this is monstrous. You're pulling up, the fans are outside, the changing rooms are better, there's so much space. It's really difficult, Hugh, as a player, especially a young player, to not go, this is what I want all the time. And you become selfish within that. The frustration would be for Carl, and I'm sure he'll be trying to say that message now, is if you want to do this long term, all the time, every time, you have to deliver. And that's why I said on the broadcast, when you look at Savinho running back and tackling, Nunes playing out of a different position but still being able to affect the game, still doing the hard yards, I'd be clipping those things up, because this will be a massive learning experience, good and bad, for a lot of this team. I want to be showing them that on Monday morning, saying this is what they do. If you want to get to that level, this is the minimum requirement you have to do.
Yeah, and I think it ultimately boils down as playing for the team instead of playing for the self. Just exactly what you outlined there. Troy Deeney, the goals coming after a brilliant start from City, sharp and incisive. Doku with the first goal played in by Grealish, made no mistake. The second came from a wonderful move down the other side, the right hand side. Mateus Nunes showing his running power. He's been like a right back, number 6, number 8, number 10 at times, and he laid it on a plate for Divine Mbama to get his first goal on his City debut. There was a huge chance for Salford forward Kylian Kouassi, Troy.
Oh.
He had to be ready to finish that, didn't he? And he just didn't have his body in the right position.
Do you know what I think actually happened? I think he got really excited, and there's a moment as a striker, the ball's coming and you start to go, oh my God, this is the chance. And I think he just got caught up in the moment, just mistimed his shot, ends up hitting it with his shin and going back out towards the corner flag. But it's a chance you have to get. As I said, been here many times, you get 2 shots a game if you're lucky. And unfortunately for him, he missed that big opportunity.
And City made Salford City pay moments later with Nico O'Reilly firing into the bottom corner with a lovely left-footed shot. And that means that Salford City's first ever third round appearance truly hasn't gone to plan as yet. At the break, it is Manchester City 3, Salford City 0.
The Emirates FA Cup, live on Talksport with Carling.
And that's one back.
Get your mates together and enjoy the match with Carling, the beer of football. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Darren could get an offer from a random car dealer. Or sell direct to We Buy Any Car. The dealer could come to his home, kick his tyres, then decide not to buy it. Or he could get a guaranteed sale, leaving more time to take his other half on a romantic getaway. Oh no, or ooh la la. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
At BetMGM, we know how to put on a show. So we don't just do offers, we do golden offers like this.
MGM Millions, our supersized jackpot where right now you could win over £22 million.
Get ready for the golden era in online casino. BetMGM, it's showtime.
Minimum 10p game stake. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Santander's Edge current account gives cash back to reward customers.
Do they also reward treachery?
What? This contains the names of people who have their salary paid into
our rival's current account.
Nicholas!
They give me cash back on my big supermarket shop.
You'll be hearing from our lawyers.
Finding your edge with the Santander Edge current account.
18 plus, £3 monthly fee to maintain the account. Paying £500 a month excluding internal transfers and have 2 active direct debits. Cashback exclusions apply.
Worried about sticking to your resolutions? At Tesco Mobile, our deals keep their promises. Get the iPhone 15 for just $31.99 a month with Club Card prices. Better still, that price is frozen for 3 years. That's a resolution you can rely on. It pays to be connected. Search Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Ends 26th of January. Club Card and 36-month credit agreement required. Frozen for minimum contract period. Terms at tescomobile.com/terms.
Jill Scott here with the winning pass from Cadbury. You could be in with a chance to win the ultimate match day experience. A choice of Arsenal, Chelsea FC, Leeds United, Manchester United or Tottenham Hotspur match tickets. Plus a luxury hotel stay and a chance to meet a legend. The full works. Best of all, you get to share it with 3 of your mates. Who will you share it with? Buy a pack to enter. UK only 18 plus. Visit thewinningpass.cadbury.co.uk to enter and for full T's and C's and price details.
EasyJet Holidays Big Orange Sale is now on. Get up to £400 off package holidays at our hand-picked 4- and 5-star hotels. Book now for only a £60 per person deposit and get summer sorted. Search EasyJet Holidays. Get out there. Book by 11pm the 4th of the 2nd 25. Minimum spend required. Final balance due 28 days before travel. Auto protected. T's and C's apply.
Like some kind of pizza ninja, Domino's are slicing their prices. Domino's Price Slice. Small pizzas now £8, medium now £10, and large now £12. Yep, we're making cuts too. Minimum delivery spend, charges and areas may apply. T's and C's, see dominoes.co.uk.
Game day. Levitate above the hump
All too easy.
FA Cup Game Day live on Talksport.
You're listening to FA Cup Game Day on Talksport. Here at the Etihad Stadium, things going swimmingly for the home side, who lead at Salford City by 3-0. Let's remind ourselves of how well Manchester City played in that opening half in partnership with Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling. Get your mates together and enjoy the match with Carling, the beer of football. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Good evening to you for what is the first ever local derby between these clubs, a fixture that even 20 years ago would have been utterly inconceivable. Nunes again able to travel forward in possession, slips it to his left-hand side for Grealish, one more to Doku, and it's in off the inside of the post to give Manchester City the lead. Down the right-hand side for Savinho, coming inside the penalty area, threads it in for Nunes, past the goalkeeper, and bundled in for 2. It's the first Manchester City goal from Mabama on his debut. Pulling it back inside the area, O'Reilly. It's 3 now. Really good finish from O'Reilly.
Oh, Manchester City halfway to a place in the FA Cup 4th round. Doku, Mabama and O'Reilly with the first half goals. They've really put League 2 Salford City to the sword thus far. The second 45 minutes is on the way here live on Talksport shortly, but that was all thanks to Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Well, this is one of 11 live commentaries we've been bringing you and will continue to bring you across the FA Cup 3rd round here on the Talksport network. It has been a busy day. FA Cup 3rd round Saturday up and down the country. Let me remind you of some of today's results. Bristol City 1, Wolves 2. We brought you that live on Talksport 2. Middlesbrough are outbeaten 1-0 at home by Blackburn Rovers. Birmingham City 2, Lincoln 1. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Federico Chiesa on the score sheet for Liverpool. They beat Accrington Stanley 4-0. That was live here on Talksport. It was a very eventful game at the King Power. Finished Leicester City 6, Queen's Park Rangers 2. James Justin with a couple of goals for the Foxes there. Nottingham Forest 2, managerless Luton Town 0. Ryan Yates and Ramon Sosa with the goals. The big shot came as the new Plymouth manager, Myron Muslic, was watching at the GTEC Community Stadium. He will be wondering why he's been brought into Argyle, because Plymouth Argyle, bottom side in the Championship, who hadn't won away from home all season, went to Brentford of the Premier League and beat them by 1-0. Morgan Whittaker with a winner on 82 minutes. The only other two sides who had won at Brentford all year were Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, so a rather remarkable result there. Elsewhere at Stamford Bridge, it finished Chelsea 5, at Morecambe 0. At Bournemouth came from behind to beat West Brom 5-1. Daniel Jebison got a late goal for Bournemouth after being recalled from his loan at Watford. At Preston North End versus Charlton, that was postponed earlier today due to a frozen pitch. That's been rearranged for Tuesday, 7:45. Finished Reading 1, Burnley 3. At League One, Exeter came from behind to beat the Championship team Oxford United 3-1. After extra time, finished Sunderland 1, Stoke City 2 as well. The latest FA Cup 3rd round score over on Talksport 2, also at half-time goalless between Leeds United and Harrogate Town. Leyton Orient Derby postponed earlier. That's also been rearranged for Tuesday at 7:45. And in the 6 o'clock kickoff, Coventry City lead Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0 thanks to Liam Kitching's opener. At Mansfield Wigan also rescheduled for 7:45 on Tuesday. In League One today, and there were some league games, many games postponed, so I'll tell you about the ones that were still on. Big pressure building on the Bolton Wanderers boss Ian Evatt, 3-1 defeat at Rotherham United. That leaves them 10th in the League One table, and Millers, though, move up to 13th. Walsall moved 13 points clear at the top of League Two. They thrashed struggling Tranmere Rovers 5-1. That's a new club record of 8 successive league wins. Swindon versus Crewe was suspended at one stage due to dense fog, but that game ended goalless. 2 games in the National League. Boston United 2, Ebbsfleet 2, Yeoviltown 1, Woking 1. In Scotland, Celtic survived a scare at Ross County. Late flurry of goals for them. They stretched their lead at the Summit to 18 points. It was 1-1 in the 81st minute, finished 4-1 to Celtic in the end. Elsewhere, St Mirren 0, Dundee United 1. Dundee United now 4 points behind Rangers, closing in towards the top end of the table. Hibernian 3, Motherwell 1 elsewhere. And the Scottish Championship leaders Falkirk were held to a goalless draw by Queen's Park in League 1. Finished 1-1 between Alloa and Queen of the South. League 2, East Fife 3, Clyde 0, Edinburgh City 0, Peterhead 1, and Forfar 1, Elgin 1. And in the Women's FA Cup 4th round, Manchester United underway against West Bromwich Albion as well. The latest score in that one, 1-0 to Manchester United. So a very busy day up and down the country. The latest scores, by the way, in the Champions Cup, Munster 3, Saracens 9, and Stade Francais 31, Northampton Saints 28. Let's get some reaction to some of today's FA Cup action very quickly. And despite the result today, a day to remember for everyone associated with Accrington Stanley. 4-0 defeat away at Liverpool, but the Stanley boss John Doolan might have a new friend in the shape of Arne Slot.
Oh, I can't speak highly enough of them. I met the man for the first time today, and he's been outstanding. You know, what a gentleman. He's a world-class coach with a world-class team. So, and he's offered us in, you know, to come in and have a drink with him. So we'll go in. I'll take him up on that offer. But I couldn't speak highly of the staff. But he's a top manager.
And the shock of the day came at the G-Tech. As I said, Championship's bottom side Plymouth dumping Brentford out 1-0. Ian Abrahams asked the Bees boss Thomas Frank what went so badly wrong.
Yeah, you know, sometimes we analyse a lot and we maybe can find the reason, maybe we can't. Of course, Plymouth are coming in here. They've not been in the best run of form. But of course we respect them and we knew what they could bring. But on the day we need to look into us and our performance, and we just didn't perform well enough offensively.
Well, they respected Plymouth but left the likes of Mbumo, Visser and Lewis Potter on the bench, and they paid for it. Host of superstars on the bench for Manchester City. They're not paying for it so far. You're listening to FA Cup Game Day live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. It's 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Could there be a miracle in the second half at the Etihad? The players are back out. Let's rejoin your commentary team, the former Watford captain Troy Deeney and Talksport's Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, a host of names on the bench for Manchester City, but only 8 of them now because Akanji's come on for Nathan Ake at half-time. So a premeditated switch for City, who line up with Edison in goal, a back 4 of Nunes, Simpson, Busey, Akanji and O'Reilly, and then McAtee and Gundogan. Doku on the left-hand side, Savino on the right, and Grealish behind Mbama up front. We're back underway with Salford in their red shirts, white shorts, kicking from left to right. An early injury for Minoga at the start of the second half. The right back is okay, he's back on his feet. Salford lining up Young in goal, Shepherd, Tilt and Garbutt at back 3. That's how they started the game. And Minoga, Lund, Forner and Burko in front of the defensive midfielder Ashley, and then Adelican in support of Kouassi up front. City in possession, work it with Nunes back for Edison, who's hardly seen any FA Cup action in the recent past. Stefan Ortega is on the bench for City tonight, started each of the last 12 FA Cup ties, all of them since the beginning of last season. First touch for Akanji, and he just scythes through the midfield with the ball at his feet. Grealish then caught as it went into his feet. Foul by Ashley. Free kick to Manchester City. Troy Deeney, I'm delighted to say, alongside me. Troy, what was the gist of Carl Robinson's half-time team talk at Bin, do you think?
Genuinely just trying to show who they are, have a little bit of purpose. You could already see in this first couple of minutes that they're going out with a bit more intent to press. If I was Carl, I'd be asking for them to just lay a glove on this Man City team, make it a bit uncomfortable. Yes, they're going to probably pass around us and got unbelievable players, but can we make it uncomfortable? We've made one tackle that I can think of. Again, it was a foul, but it was one tackle that made Man City really go, oh, this is a bit of the game. The rest of it's been a really nice Sunday leisurely stroll for Man City.
Maybe just a little indication of a slight sea change at the beginning of the second half as the ball was played back to the Manchester City youngster Simpson Pusey, and he was put under immediate pressure there by Forner, which we didn't really see happen in the first half.
No, and also I think if Cole's message and...
the ball sold back to the goalkeeper, went short. Mbama rolling into Jack Grealish. Round one challenge fouled. It's going to be a penalty to Manchester City. And it all came after an errant back pass. No chance at all for goalkeeper Matty Young. Won by Mbama, who selflessly set up Grealish, took a touch, had his legs swept from underneath him, and City had the chance from the penalty spot to make it 4.
Just as we were saying, Salford were doing so well. It's actually the big centre half. The captain Tilt tries to play it back to the keeper on an angle so he can come and clear his lines, and unfortunately left it short. And then from City's point of view, really good from Mbama just to get in there, showcase that he wants to be on the front foot like Erling Haaland would. He's showing me loads of signs that he's been watching Erling. Jack Grealish gets the ball, chops it, and now Jack is taking the penalty, and you can tell this is something that everyone's been talking about, how he hasn't scored in a long time, because everyone's on their feet ready to see this go in.
Last goal was in December 2023 for Manchester City. He hits this right-footed, drought over into the bottom left-hand corner with aplomb. Jack Grealish's first goal in 38 City games, and they lead 4-0 early in the second half.
Yeah, really good for Jack. Got up for winning that penalty to take himself, really confidently put away. It's actually really nice to see him smiling. He's had such a torrid time of injuries and no run of games. It's just cut the beauty of this Man City team. It's just cut a nice picture to the bench there. Everyone's celebrated. Every single player has come up to get around Jack Grealish. That shows his likability to the group, shows his professionalism, and obviously he's come under a bit of stick from Pep, and probably rightly so. But that should hopefully get Jack Grealish smiling and playing again, which is what everybody wants to see, Pep included.
Yeah, I think if he'd set out a list of bullet points, things that he wanted to see tonight, aside from the very obvious ones, it would have been a Jack Grealish goal, would have been high up there, and he's got it from the penalty spot, the penalty that he won himself. And 4 minutes into the second half, it's Manchester City 4, Salford City 0.
And the worrying sign for Salford is that Man City have sent out Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Rico Lewis and Guardiola. So I think they're going to start taking it a little bit easy on them.
Just what you want to see when you're a League Two side. To be fair, a lot of these League Two players will relish the opportunity. They will want to say, yeah, remember that day I played against Haaland. That's the headline for them. It's not the scoreline, it's the I played against Erling Haaland.
And again, Hugh said it, and I hope I'm not coming across too harsh. My only criticism is that they're going to come away from this game with regret of what if we gave it our all, what if we showcased our best. They know they're not going to win. Let's be totally honest. Let's be as clear as we can. But go and showcase who you are, and then leave knowing you've given everything on the pitch. And then every time you see this City team, you can say to your mates, to your mum, to your missus, to your kids, I played against him.
Corner to Salford. Garbutt swinging it in. Ashley went up for it. It was volleyed away before it got to him. Burko then working it back out to the Salford left-hand side for Forner. Forner driving it forward. Kanji able to head it away. Doku got to the second ball, but then lost it. Another opportunity for Salford to bring it forward with Ashley. Set up for Curtis Till. Couldn't get himself into a shooting position, just chips it wide out towards the left-hand side for a Delican, whose rising drive clears the top right-hand corner.
That's
maybe
so
better
annoying.
Options.
So annoying. That's the bit that we're talking about with you. When that's a selfish action. You're on the right-hand side. You've got 4 in the box, 4v4. Just put a ball in there, but this is unfortunately, Jim, what happens when you're in this situation. You want your moment. He's never going to score from that angle. At the edge of the 18-yard box, on the right-hand side, no way you could score from there. kicks it out and he hits the corner flag. But you know, as we're talking about the Salford lads, I remember playing here in the Championship for Watford, and we lost 4-2 actually in the third round. I left the game going, yes, I scored, yes, I gave everything. I got a nice souvenir because afterwards Yaya Toure came up to me, gave me here's a Mario Balotelli shirt and said, well done, young man.
Fantastic.
That's what you want to leave. You can leave here going, oh my God, what a day, what an occasion. These guys don't want to leave here with regret.
Shepherd with the ball in towards the near post. They have a throw, Salford in an attacking position down by the corner flag. Liam Shepherd will come across to take it. He was actually in the Peterborough side that won at Villa Park in the third round 7 years ago. It's taken quickly. It's bent inside the penalty area by Shepherd, but the offside flag is up. It's the free kick that Manchester City will take inside their box. And
Phil Foden been called back in, Jim. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all. And he will be on very shortly for City. Made a change at half-time, bringing Akanji on for Ake. Carl Robinson down there on the Salford bench. Sat next to Ryan Giggs. So much experience between the pair of them. Giggs obviously in a playing role. Carl, bearing in mind he's only 44, approaching 750 games in management. I know it's one of his ambitions to be a manager that gets to 1,000 before he turns 50. I don't know of anyone that's ever done that, and I know that it's very much on his radar, and he's hoping that he will get there. He's probably going to have to be gainfully employed by somebody pretty much full-time until he turns 50, but he's on schedule for it at the moment. He's also in his managerial career. He's not going to be able to add to it today. He has, as a lower division manager, beaten 4 Premier League teams in cup football in his managerial career, but he's not going to add a fifth to that. That does include, you'll remember it, Dele Alli inspired MK Dons beating Manchester United 4-0 in the League Cup a few years ago. Here's Jack Grealish getting the ball forward now for Manchester City. Nunez taken neatly by Mbama into his stride inside the penalty area, but knocked away from in front of him by Luke Garbett. Played forward again by O'Reilly. Nunez on the turn, took a deflection. The offside flag up against Mbama. And the free kick goes Salford's way on the edge of the box, and that's going to be the cue for Phil Foden to come onto the field. The man who won the FA Cup with City in 2023. He's got 5 goals this season, 3 of them in Champions League ties. Pep's just got his right arm round the midriff of Foden at the moment, pointing something, just giving him a few final instructions. We're talking about miles on the clock for a young man. Foden not too far short of 300 City appearances now as a 24-year-old. And he's going to be coming on here. It's not bad at all. He's coming on from Savinho.
Yeah, it's good to see. I feel like Pep is using this game and treating this game with the respect that it deserves. Doesn't want to come into a game where he could create any doubt again with the run that they've just come off. But he's using it to get minutes in the legs, keep them ready, because they have got a massive game Tuesday. That game against Brentford, obviously it's on Talksport, you know where to come and listen to it. But that could be 5-5. Brentford are unbelievable at home, and this City team would need to be right at it. So, really good management from Pep. And just watching him speak to Foden and the intensity that he's speaking to him, he's not asking him to come on and just get the job done. Come on, show the levels, show a level of appreciation that you are able to play football for Man City. Excellent.
13 minutes into the second half, Manchester City leading Salford by 4-0. Tilt with a really good long ball forward, helped on down towards Lund on the right hand side. Minoga continues his run forward ahead of Lund. It's well defended by O'Reilly and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Salford right. Remember, on the Talksport app right now, a choice of listening, the conclusion of this game. Also, Leeds against Harrogate, which is on the apps, also live for you on Talksport 2. That's 0-0 at the moment. They're about 3 minutes ahead of us. And I understand that Leeds have a big chance as we speak. Have just taken the lead. Leeds 1, Harrogate 0 at Ellen Road. Confirm the goal scorer for you in a moment. That's live for you right now over on Talksport 2. And Coventry leads Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 at the CBS Arena at half-time. This one 4-0 with goals from Doku Mbama and O'Reilly in the first half. Grealish with a penalty early in the second. And Manchester City have possession. Over on the right-hand side with Simpson Pusey, who launches a long ball forward that's headed away by Ashley. Brought down by Luke Garbutt. Garbutt will turn it back for Matty Young. Young in all yellow, the Salford goalkeeper, thrashing the ball forward. Goes over the head of O'Reilly, just got caught underneath the flight of it. And Manoga comes across, the Tanzanian international, winning it back, giving it away, then almost winning it back again. City work it forward. Foden's got the ball at his feet, just edges it on. Down towards the left-hand side from McAtee, looking for Grealish. And then Lund can guide it back, and Tilt again will look for a long diagonal. The last one he played was superb. This one, a little bit overhit for Burko. And he goes out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Manchester City right, but only after Salford have made a double change. And a little bit of experience coming on Ryan Watson, who once scored in the third round of the Cup for Northampton. He's one of the longest serving players for Salford. He will come on. And John Taylor, who was in the Huddersfield side, the Rotherham side, I beg your pardon, that was beaten 7-0 here in an FA Cup tie back in 2018. He's going to come on and hope that it doesn't end up more of the same. So Watson and Taylor are coming on. And I think it's, is it Manoga and Ashley that have made way?
Yeah.
I think so.
Probably a slight tweak in formation again, unless they're putting Taylor as a right wing back, which just trying to work out. Yeah, it looks like Taylor's gone as a right wing back. Still the same, just like for likes in terms of position. But as you said, probably a little bit more experience now on the pitch for Salford. You'd probably argue just a little bit less legs, so maybe more chances for City to get more goals in this game.
Mabala coming to meet the ball that was played for. Tilt was in there and did really well. He can turn it forward now towards Forner. Forner just waits for the opportune moment to whip it out towards the left-hand side for Burko. Gets it back, right-footed ball, smacked straight at Foden. And it comes back Forner's way again, and he then turns and plays it deeper towards halfway for Luke Garbutt. Lund down towards the right-hand side for Liam Shepherd. Help down towards Taylor. Watson continues his run off the ball. Ends up ahead of Taylor. Taylor tried to work it in towards the edge of the penalty area for Adelican, but couldn't find him. McAtee will calm things down and get it back to his goalkeeper Edison. Out from Edison to Ilkay Gundogan. Out to his right-hand side for Simpson Busey. And there's no pressure on the ball as it goes back towards Edison. He'll be glad to get a win under his belt as well. And he had that long unbeaten run. 35 games in all competitions, but he's now lost 6 of his last 7 coming into this. The ball worked forward. Tilt gets a yellow card. A rash challenge in the midfield, which has given City a free kick just inside their own half.
Yeah, you can see with Salford going and pressing now, it's just opening a pass from Edison straight through the middle of the pitch into Mbama, and he's done really well, the young man. Just saw that Till was coming, put his body across, not been afraid to take the contact, draws a foul, draws a yellow card. Really good striker play for the young man.
That's a Tilt in the book, the second Salford player to have his name taken. Liam Shepherd was the first. It was Laji Ramazani that scored that goal for Leeds. They lead Harrogate 1-0 on Talksport 2. This one is Manchester City 4, Salford City 0, here on Talksport and on Sirius XM FC across Canada and the United States on Sirius today. Very good morning, good afternoon to you wherever you're listening across North America today. Another free kick which will be taken by Manchester City on the left. We've got 3 more live games for you tomorrow. Tamworth against Spurs kicks off at 12:30. Then a choice of listening at 3 here on Talk Sport. Live exclusive commentary of Arsenal against Manchester United. The latest FA Cup reprise of one of the greatest games I've ever been privileged to see in the flesh. That 1999 semi-final between the pair of them was just an extraordinary night at Villa Park. I will never forget that to my dying day as a neutral. And they play again 26 years on in the FA Cup, live on TalkSport tomorrow at 3. Newcastle Bromley is a game on TalkSport 2 tomorrow afternoon also. Kicking off at 3. Good story there with Andy Woodman, the Bromley boss, going back to a club that his son used to play for. Here on the right hand side, Doku gets it in the area, and it's tucked in by Foden at the near post. Great run across that near post there. It's McAtee actually that gets the touch. Delight for him as he looks up to the heavens with a big beaming grin on his face. Only his second goal for Manchester City. darting across the near post, getting his right foot to it, firing it in, and McAtee makes it 5.
Really, really good goal. Really well worked from Manchester City down that right-hand side. Again, from Doku. Nunes is toying with Salford. Doku comes short, goes in behind, real good pace. And then what we've been asking for all day, puts it into a good area with McAtee sprinting from midfield, goes past the striker, and has a little touch on the near post, works into that far corner. Excellent goal for Man City. Unfortunately for Salford, this is becoming really, really, really painful.
Yeah, really well met by McAtee. All about the movement. Got there ahead of the defender and just guided it past Young into the bottom left-hand corner. And Salford, who came here on the back of 6 straight clean sheets, have been hit for 5 in just over an hour. Doku, Mbama, O'Reilly, Grealish and McAtee. 5 different scorers for Manchester City, as Adelakun fires one in at the other end from 20 yards out, but wide of Ederson, who had it covered. He didn't get the power or the precision that he needed. 5-0 to Manchester City.
Yeah, really good play again from Salford. It feels like when Man City score, there's a pride element from Salford that just kicks in for about 15 seconds of injection. Go win the first header, win the second ball. Nice little play across the middle of the pitch, and then unfortunately the shot is just dragged wide. But it's a big learning experience for Carl. Even though we said 700 games at the moment, he'll learn so much about his players in this game.
Doku over on the Manchester City right, played in towards Foden. Foden had Lund catching him as he just laid the ball off, and Foden limps away. I think that will have gone down very well. He's all right. He's not going to need any treatment, I don't think. Grealish has got it. And it's a beautiful scoop inside the penalty area. McAtee, deflection on the ball across the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's deflected then away for a corner.
Really, really good from Jack Grealish. Just pulls the Salford players into this left-hand channel deep, allows the space open for McAtee, and a delicate ball with the outside of the right foot. Round 3 players, gets McAtee in the box. Really good last-ditch defending from Salford, but Jack smiling again. That's always good, both for Man City and for England, so long may this continue.
That was a beautiful pass. Really trying to emulate that with the corner that comes in. O'Reilly nearly got contact on it. So much whip on that corner. And he came to meet it with a run on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it just got past him. And curves out of play for a goal kick. 5-0 with 64 minutes gone here on Talksport. Over on Talksport 2, Leeds 1, Harrogate 0. Still Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the first 10 minutes of the second half in the West Midlands. The most important thing from here, from a Salford perspective, is that this doesn't become a day that damages their promotion campaign. They've got Fleetwood at home next, before Cheltenham away, and then Newport going to Moor Lane. And they have to make sure that they can continue the momentum, they can get this out of the system, and can continue the momentum which has brought them 6 straight wins in the league.
Yeah, it'll be a completely different game, and that's what I'm saying. For not trying to be harsh, it's just that you don't want to go away from that identity that gave him those wins and the clean sheets. I think for Carl, the biggest issue now will be damage limitation. Can I give some experience to these young guys on the bench? He's got 15-year-old on the bench today. Can I get some experience for those guys? And then bigger and better than all of that, how do they react after the game? Are they taking this experience in for what it is, or are they nitpicking at each other in the dressing room, and that was your fault for this goal? These are the things he'll be wanting.
Oh, O'Reilly striding forward. He's got past Watson, he's got past Lund, sends up Foden. Now Savinha playing inside the penalty area. Good touch from Nunez, worked round the corner, and it ends up ricocheting away for a corner. Well, that was sublime from O'Reilly. You can tell that he's played a lot of his football in central midfield, the way he picked it up there and just drove forward.
I spoke about him earlier on. What do you reckon he is? 6'3", 6'4"? He's a big, strong boy. When he gets going, he's galloping past people. Really comfortable with the ball. It's been excellent today. Really, really good, Jim.
Another Manchester City corner. Swung in left-footed by Foden. Heads went up for it. Akanji couldn't get there. Oh, a volley from the edge of the box, rising all the time. I think Young probably had it covered, but beautifully hit by McAtee.
That looked nice, that, didn't it? Technically, that looked really, really nice. Really good clearance from Salford. He comes to the edge of the box, and McAtee just letting that ball drop, but artistic in the way that he hits that ball just over the bar. And unfortunately for Salford, I think Pep is calling in Kovacic now, just to add salt to the wounds.
Kanji back for Edison with quite a pacey back pass, but his first touch was good. It took him actually slightly back towards his goal line, but it took him wide of the onrushing Kouassi who was coming in. So it made it easy for him to sweep up and get it away. It's out for a throw that will be taken on the City left-hand side by O'Reilly. Still to come potentially off the City bench. Kovacic, Haaland, De Bruyne, Silva, Gvardiol, Lewis. Three of those can... Troy's laughing. Three of those can come on.
Do you know why I'm laughing, Jim? Because it was about 2 weeks ago, everyone was saying, oh my God, City have got all these injuries. Now look at the team they've been able to put out and the bench that they've got. Spoiled for riches.
Phil Foden bringing it forward, trying to draw Lund's challenge. Gets it out towards the right-hand side for Doku. Doku turns inside, fires it in, hits the defender, handball, and a penalty to make it 6.
That's not nice. The best part about all of this is the City players arguing with each other because they all want to take the penalty.
Well, Curtis Till is the defender. There is no VAR in the FA Cup third or fourth round. He's protesting his innocence quite vehemently.
It's good City play again though, Jim, from Foden. Releases Doku down that right hand side, and he sells Shepherd a dream with a fake shot, cuts inside. As it's going, he cuts on his left, as it's going into that far post, it just hits Tilt in his left arm, unfortunately.
It's going to be Jeremy Doku to take the penalty for his second and City's 6th. No problem. Sublime finish. Sold the goalkeeper, rolls it into the bottom right hand corner. Manchester City 6, Salford 0, and there's still more than 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, nice finish from Doku. You can't say anything now other than damage limitation surely for Carl. I think he would have wanted to put some of these younger guys on, but the subs he's making now suggest that he's got to go with a bit more experience, a bit closer to their team that you see on a normal match day, and try and just be as solid as they can, because this can get really, really ugly. They've got fans in front of us singing, we want 10. And it probably could get to 10, Jim, let's be honest.
Well, City have scored twice in the last 7 minutes. There's another 20 to go. The players that are coming off are Kouassi and Lund for Salford. Coming on, Cole Stockton, who's scored 9 in his last 16 games. He scored in the second round cup win against Cheltenham. He's scored in the third round in the past when he was a Tranmere player. So he's come on. And Conor McAleny, who made a couple of Premier League appearances for Everton as a teenager, now in his 30s, and he's on as well. He's a former Fleetwood man, and he too has scored in the third round of the cup before. So those two on. Lund and Kouassi replaced by Stockton and McAleny for the final 20 minutes. Fleetwood have got one change left. Manchester City hungry for more, leading 6-0, in possession with Jack Grealish. Grealish almost effortlessly gliding towards the edge of the penalty area, just forced away there by Liam Shepherd. Still he's got it, Grealish, and he ends up at inside right, having picked up the ball on the left wing. Shepherd have followed him every step of the way. Ilkay Gundogan is going to be able to bring it forward. To his left-hand side is Nunes. Nunes coming towards the edge of the penalty area. Nico O'Reilly back for Nunes again. Nunes 10 yards outside the penalty area. Simpson Busey to Doku, who scored 2 and set up 2 in this 6-0 scoreline. Akanji now towards the edge of the penalty area. Kanji to Foden. Simpson Busey. Now on the edge of the penalty area is Jeremy Doku. Nearly everybody for Salford back behind the ball. City looking for more, and they're going to get it. Number 7 scored by McAtee. First shot came in, it was intercepted by McAtee as the goalkeeper dived. He was able to take a touch and then side foot it past the stricken Young. It's 7, It's Messi.
It's a lovely finish. It's just one of those days for Man City where even when Foden takes a shot, he scuffs his shot into the middle of the area. McAtee, great first touch, even better second as he just rolls it past the keeper. I feel really sorry for Matty Young. I don't think he's had a shot that he should save that. And every 7 shots has been on target and got him. Really disappointed for the young man, but for Man City, this show goes on, and the Man City fans just before that goal went in, just referred to Mr. Neville to let him know how they really felt about him.
Yeah, they were just making sure that he appreciated what the scoreline was, I think.
I thought so as well. But it's, as you said, Messi, this is going to show real character, and I'll be interested to see what Cole's got to say afterwards. I don't think he'd have come here with an expectation to win, but certainly wouldn't have come here with an expectation to get embarrassed. This is 72 minutes, 7-0, and there's a cutaway as we're looking on our screens now to Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, who are probably sitting there thinking, please just call this one off. This should be 3-0 off, past the pad, no more done.
It's Manchester City 7, Salford 0, and Kovacic is going to be on in a moment. McAleny with a header forward. Stockton was offside, he knew he was offside, but he couldn't resist the temptation to head the ball anyway. It's a free kick that Manchester City will take inside their own penalty area.
Might be his only touch, Jim, that's why. He's only just come on. Poor lad.
No hat-trick for Jeremy Doku. He's going to be replaced by Mateo Kovacic. Big ovation for him. Couple of goals, one from the penalty spot. He's set up 2 more as well.
Yeah, better. I still see the frustration from City fans and especially from Pep. But Pep's trying to have some fun with him now, trying to make him enjoy it, because he's got the talent, he's got the speed. It's just between the ears now in that brain where can you calm down, have a little bit of composure. And obviously they would have sided for the raw talent, but they would feel that they could nurture it, and they haven't seen that enough, unfortunately, in this season.
City playing the ball outside their own penalty area, and there's a foul. The Salford fans are doing the Poznan.
Fair play to them. Listen, it's a massive day, not only for the players but for the fan base, for the club as a whole. You touched on it in the opener. Massive turnaround from where they was a decade ago to now. So, you know, it won't feel like it right now, but it's a wonderful day for the club and for these players.
Yeah, remember 10 years ago yesterday they won 2-1 at Bamber Bridge, and look at them now. They're playing in front of 50,000 at Manchester City, and the Poznan, which started in the away end, has now emanated all around the stadium. Almost like a Mexican wave. I don't know whereabouts in Mexico Poznan is twinned with. The ball over on the Salford right-hand side. McAleny trying to take on O'Reilly. Shoved into the ground. It's a free kick. Down by the dead ball line for Salford. A chance for them to load the penalty area. They, at the very least from here, will be desperately hoping they can get a consolation goal. Yeah,
and I think everyone in this ground would celebrate. I think even the City fans might celebrate if a goal went in, just to show what it means. Look, this is football, but the Poznan was started by the Salford fans, and everyone's doing it. This is what it's all about. There's young kids in front of us watching their first game. We all remember our first FA Cup game. You were talking about working it. Unfortunately, that was my first FA Cup game, watching that Ryan Giggs moment against Arsenal at Aston Villa. So we all remember it. This is what the competition is all about. Not suggesting you're old, by the way.
No, I know. You don't have to suggest it. The free kick comes in, and it's headed harmlessly wide by Curtis. Till was off balance. The ball probably got to him a little later than he thought. He was on his way down by the time he met it, and he's diverted it wide. It's out of play for a goal kick. 7-0 to Manchester City. 2 for Doku, Mabama, O'Reilly, Grealish, and 2 for McAtee. And City have it again over on the right-hand touchline, the far side as we look at it. A City kick from right to left, defending the south stand and attacking the stand that is being extended at the moment. Salford winning it back. Cole Stockton! Oh, that was close. 25 yards out, and he hit one towards goal. And I don't think, if it had been a yard to the left, Ederson would have got there in time. It would just have crept in to the bottom right-hand corner. just brushed the side netting on its way past.
Yeah, really good pressure. What they tried to do for the whole of the game, actually, just got onto Kovacic, a bad touch from him, and it allowed the ball to fall to Stockton, who did just let it go for 25 yards. He thought, I've not been on long, I'm just going to let one shot off, and he just went to the right hand side. As you say, Edison was nowhere near that. I do think, though, Man City absolutely need a clean sheet, absolutely need to get, I know it's 7-0, but that dominance of just pop back into their team. Otherwise, they're going to keep conceding, and when that conceding comes in, even if they concede today or in the week against Brentford, there's still that anxiety around the place that Pep's trying to get rid of. So they need to be careful.
Yeah, Edison might feel he needs one. He's only kept 3 in 18 games this season. Here's Gundogan. Right-footed shot from him is knocked away by Curtis Tilt. And it comes out towards Fornah. And Gundogan is able to pick it back up. He works it down towards the right-hand side. Liam Shepherd collects it. Now the opportunity for a long ball through the middle, which will be chased over on the far touchline by Adelican. And he can bring it down on the left-hand side of the Manchester City box. Forced away, City busting up to get back in a defensive shape behind the ball there. Fornah. Back out towards Adelican again. Now worked for by Liam Garbutt. Luke Garbutt, I beg your pardon. Elsewhere, Leeds still winning 1-0. Coventry 1 up at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Manchester City 7 goals to the good here. Just a little bit of showboating from McAtee as the ball was flicked round the corner behind his front leg. It didn't quite come off. The City with Simpson Busey work it back to the goalkeeper Edison. Edison under pressure, got it away in the nick of time. Long ball for Mabama chasing and trying to win it back from Tilt. It's a sliding challenge that he won, but only diverted it forward towards Liam Shepherd in the process. And now Watson can try and get his foot on the ball in the midfield for Salford. Here he is, right-footed, clipped forward. It's a good run, chested down towards the edge of the penalty area. John Taylor's touch just gave O'Reilly the opportunity to win it back, and he's almost ragdolled him out of the way. O'Reilly, it was great play again. Foden with a deft touch in the midfield. Gundogan steers it out towards the right-hand side for Nunez.
How impressive is O'Reilly when he gets moving? Just running over people. Well done, young man. Well done.
Yeah, we've seen every positive aspect of his game. Positional sense, his strength and the physical nature to his game, but also his ability in possession to glide forward as well. He's looked the real package today, Nico O'Reilly. And certainly his performance will be, I'm sure, one of the standouts as far as Pep is concerned. Grealish turning over possession. The day that he broke his long goal drought, which went back to the back end of the year before last. Here's Gundogan back in towards Grealish again. Grealish inside the Salford penalty area as Manchester City look to make it 8. And Salford can bring it away. They'll just show too much of it to O'Reilly. He goes back for a Kanji. It's not in City's nature, really, to, if they've got their foot on an opponent's throat, to ever alleviate the pressure, is it?
No, but you know, we were just talking about what this could do for Salford. The young man in the middle, Fornah, has just overran it. You know, it happens. But he's gone on a little run of his own without a ball, right in front of the dugout, just to let them know how disappointed he is, and throwing arms in the air, and that's not a good trait. He looks like a really talented young player. Really does look like he can manipulate the ball well, but Cole might want to get that nip to the bud, because that can turn around really quickly.
Kovacic goes out towards the right-hand side. Fornah, a player who's on loan from Derby. They also had Stefan Negru on loan from Oxford, but he was recalled just 72 hours ago. So not able to play today. The ball goes over on the right-hand side of Phil Foden now for Manchester City. Coming inside the Salford penalty area again. There's a check back. Sets it up for McAtee, who's on a hat-trick. Ball back by him for Kovacic. McAtee had only ever scored 1 goal for Manchester City before today. He's got 2 here. Grealish onside despite the protestations. And there it is. Grealish had it left-hand side of the box, and he pulls it back for McAtee, who on the slide diverts it into the bottom right-hand corner. What a special moment for that young man. Hat-trick for James McAtee. And a 20-minute hat-trick of that. Manchester City 8, Salford 0. But a day that McAtee will never forget.
Really, really good play from Jack Grealish. Down on his left-hand side again. He waits to the edge of the box. He's waiting for some movement. Sees McAtee come. The little drop of the shoulder moves two Salford players, and he just passes it elegantly into the penalty spot. McAtee, desperate for that hat-trick, slide tackles the ball into that far corner. It's getting messy, Jim. It's getting messy.
Well, he'd only ever scored one goal for the club before today. That was at Slovan Bratislava. But today, he's got a hat-trick. Goals on 62, 71 and 81. There's still 8 minutes plus stoppage time left for Salford to endure. Manchester City 8, Salford 0. And here's Liam Shepherd. Played out towards Kevin Burko. And Salford manfully just trying to get themselves to the finish line here. Back for Curtis Till. They've seen so much in his lengthy career, which has brought him international honours, but he won't have been on the wrong end of too many of these, if any. Kovacic, Foden.
He wouldn't have played against many of these players though, Jim. People of this quality. As I say, I've been there myself. This pitch suddenly gets so big and you just want the ground to swallow you up, but you can't do it, unfortunately. You've got to keep being resilient and keep going.
Nunes for Mbama giving chase. Should be easily cleared by Shepherd down the Salford right. He's turned into trouble. Mbama very nearly able to win it back. Shepherd had nowhere to go and then did well to squeeze it down the line for John Taylor. Watson worked back to the right back. Shepherd again. Shepherd's long ball forward. Stockton trying to roll Akanji. No chance of that. Akanji could hold him up long enough for the ball to go past a pair of them. And City can easily play via Edison out from the back again. 8-0 the scoreline. Another reprise of the We Want 10 chorus from a young Manchester City fan in front of us. And we're live on Talksport 2 right now. Leeds still leading Harrogate, but it is only 1-0 with 3 minutes of normal time to go. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the final 20 minutes there. Grealish coming forward here, trying to get away from McElhaney's challenge. Foden, Grealish, Gundogan taking it on. Ilkay Gundogan couldn't get a shot in. And Tilt, determined that it's not going to get any worse, threw himself into the line of fire and steered it off Gundogan's toes and out for a corner.
Really, really good defending from Tilt. He's not going to give up. The captain, the veteran, because if he doesn't make that tackle, kick it out for a corner, unfortunately that would have been 9. Gundogan getting in on the mix now. They all want a goal. Everyone's trying to get one, Jim.
5 different scorers we've had. McAtee's got a hat-trick, Dockie's got a couple, Mbama, O'Reilly and Grealish the other goal scorers. Here's Phil Foden, left-footed ball from him, and just too much on it for Grealish. It's gone out of play for a throw right down by the corner flag, and City will have the chance just to keep Salford hemmed in. A final change for Salford is going to be made. I think that's the young striker Will Wright, who is going to be coming on. Now he's just 16. 19 goals already this season at youth level, which by the first week in January is tidy. He's made 1 senior appearance so far, that in the EFL Trophy. There's no getting away. You look at his face, there's no getting away from the fact he's 16. I mean, he's not a 16-year-old that looks 35 by any stretch of the imagination. He has a really, really good reputation, and he's going to have the chance just to show his wares for a few minutes here. 4 minutes left plus stoppage time, and 16-year-old Will Wright will be coming on for Salford in a minute. That'll be their final change.
What a situation for that young man. Being rewarded for the youth team work that he's been doing. 19 goals, as you say, for the youth team. Now getting 5, depending on the added time, maybe 6-7 minutes of additional time, just for have this experience, keep this little feather in your cap because of that hard work. And then it sends a message as well, Jim, to the rest of that youth team. Look what you can achieve. Excellent management from Cole.
You're listening to Manchester City against Salford in the FA Cup on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. Manchester City 8, Salford 0 the score. And the Amis can bring it forward, and they've got a chance to be able to release Taylor! And Ederson saved it with his thigh. Driven with power. Ederson got something behind it, that was all that matters, and it comes off him into the side netting and out for a Salford corner. Salford will make the change. Wright coming on for a Delican before the corner can be taken.
It's really good play. It's really good play. It's a shame it took 8-0 in the 86th minute to do, but just lovely little slipped ball. Probably the only mistake that O'Reilly's made. Just gave up the inside shoulder there as opposed to making the ball go around him. Lovely ball in for Taylor, who going through probably should just pass it in, but tries to go over his laces. A good save from Ederson. But I've been there. Ederson makes the goal look really small.
In comes that corner. It's well headed away by Simpson Busey. Back through a crowd, but only into the side netting. Again, very well struck, and I think a few of the Salford fans thought that might have been in, but as it was drilled from the left-hand side of the penalty area, I think it was Conor McElhaney that had the opportunity.
Yeah, you're right.
And Ederson had it covered anyway. 8-0 to City, 2.5 minutes of normal time to go. Well, Carl Robinson will be desperate to see a very small number come up on the fourth official's board in a couple of minutes' time. No real need for too much stoppage time, you would think. And City able to play the ball out from the back with Akanji. Akanji going out towards Simpson Busey. Akanji is 20 yards inside his own half. Going it out to that far touchline again. Now Kovacic. Kovacic put under pressure by the tall, blonde-haired striker Wright. Grealish can take over. Grealish coming back into Salford territory, finding Foden. Foden to O'Reilly. O'Reilly back for Phil Foden again. Akanji has options to his right-hand side. Jeremiah Simpson Busey played forward down that touchline. Just a work cleverly by McAtee out to the far touchline. Wright has covered an awful lot of ground to come back and cover the run of Nunes. Nunes still has it down by the corner flag and is able to work it back out to Foden. Grealish takes over. Foden again, back to Grealish. Grealish inside the penalty area. Can he find a teammate? Red shirts all around him, and he's done well. Feeds Kovacic on the edge of the D. Little exaggerated chip over the top. And Curtis Till with a diving header worked it back to his goalkeeper. Nearly wide of his goalkeeper, but he got it right. It was good defending in the end.
Excellent. It's probably the only time you're ever going to say this in my fledgling career already, Jim, but a centre-half losing 8 goals and could be proud of himself in Curtis Till. He's done really well. Not given up. Yes, he's made a few mistakes, but endeavour, hard work, commitment to the cause. That's one of the bright sparks for this Salford team.
Stockton heads the ball away. Nunes can bring it down. What's the most positive aspect from Pep's point of view? Lots of positives today, but what are the things that he's going to be purring about tonight?
Maybe 4 or 5 things. Clean sheet. I think you would say the application of the boys that have come in. O'Reilly leading that charge. Jack Grealish getting a goal. McAtee getting a hat-trick. There's so many things now. You'll start looking at his team thinking, right, this is a team that can go on and really start taking on the Premier League as well.
Here's Grealish hooking it in. That is an outstanding save from Young that denies number 9. Gundogan on the edge of the 6-yard box, threw a left foot at it. Young was in the way, and that is the last action of the game. No need for any stoppage time. Manchester City 3 up at the break, added another 5 after it. And this long-awaited first game between Manchester City and Salford City ends up in a comprehensive victory. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times in many ways in this tale of two cities. Manchester City led in the class count as you would expect, but irrespective of the opposition that they played against, it was an excellent Manchester City performance from Pep Guardiola's man. James McAtee with a 19-minute hat-trick. He will take the headlines. City through to round 4. They've beaten Salford City by 8-0.
And I'm just watching the Salford players out there, everyone wanting to get a City shirt, and it looks like Will Wright is the first Salford player, the 16-year-old off the bench, to grab himself a City shirt. Every City player seems to have one on except Manuel Akanji. I'm not necessarily sure that's the one he wanted, but we'll see if he goes home with any of the others. Second one's left in the change room, of course, for most of those City players, and I'm sure the Salford players will at least take something positive home from this afternoon. It was, though, in truth, a game that showed us a gulf in every department at the Etihad. If a shot was ever going to happen, Salford needed to be gritty, hard-working, organised, aggressive, determined, and on top of all of that, they needed to be lucky, and unfortunately for the Ammies, they were none this afternoon. That more accurately describes how Manchester City approached their business. A nightmare first third round appearance in the FA Cup for Salford City. They move on and turn their attentions back to their approach to the top of League Two and a possible promotion come May. Manchester City, of course, turn their attentions back to the Champions League, Premier League, and much more, I'm sure, in the rest of their campaign. Just to let you know, over on Talksport 2, still Leeds 1, Harrogate 0, Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 as well. Manchester United's women beat West Brom 7-0 to reach the FA Cup 5th round. And I will keep you, we will discuss the events of the day very shortly as well. But Troy Deeney, let's firstly discuss what we saw in front of us. Very professional performance from Manchester City. And despite the opposition, it kind of adds to the idea that City are getting their mojo back.
Absolutely, and it also shows just how seriously they're taking this competition. They're realists. I don't think Pep's ever gone out and said they can't win anything. He will still want to have a season where they win trophies and the young players are used to the expectation and winning. But unfortunately for Salford, it was just one of those situations where the gap was too big, both physically, mentally, and then also with the quality. It was just too big a gap. They can hold their heads held high though, most of them, because they ran, they put a foot in, especially in that second half, and with that there's a lot to build on. But as I said on radio, and as I say to you now, there's a few people in there that I would hope that Cole will be going, these are the tendencies that we can't have if we're going to move forward. But for Man City, everything was perfect, wonderful day, clean sheet, 5 different goal scorers, young players getting 90 minutes, and it's excellent moving forward. We'll
come back to some of those special performances for City, Manchester City, but do you think that actually is the kind of result that could destabilise the positive feeling that there was around Salford City? They hadn't conceded in their last 6 games. It was a club record, 6 league wins on the bounce, and I'm not necessarily sure it's the kind of afternoon where the players are going to feel a sense of togetherness when they walk back into that changing room, because I don't think many did themselves real justice.
No, you know what? It won't destabilise them. It can knock the confidence. It can knock the stuffing out of you. But you'll go back, and the thing is, Hugh, in this lovely game that we play, there's a game in a few days' time. As soon as they get back out on the pitch, everything will change. They'll go, hold on a second, they're not moving as quick as these guys, and you'll feel there's a confidence that will come back very quickly. The only thing I will say, and I said it at half-time and I'll say it now, it depends what happens in that dressing room now. With the experience of Carl, Alex and Ryan in there, you would expect that they all go, right, calm down. Yes, we lost a heavy score, but what did we learn from it? What did we take from it? No finger pointing, no blame, just a realisation that if you want to play at this top level, and if I was Carl, I'd be pointing to Ryan Giggs, who'll probably get a little bit embarrassed, like this man here, you have to deliver on a daily basis and squeeze every single thing out of the orange juice just to get yourself all the way up there. If not, you end up with displays like this, and you'll be in a career where you're always saying, what if? And that, for a lot of people that I know are retired, is the worst feeling to ever get retired in. Don't retire going, what if I'd done this? Go out going, I've done everything. And most of them will be able to say that today. Not all, unfortunately.
Troy, you're going to stay with us until 8 o'clock. We'll keep talking about City in a moment, but a reminder, the game day phone-in will be coming up in 20 minutes' time. 8 o'clock start for Jason Cundy alongside Dean Saunders. You can revel as a fan in the day that you've had in the FA Cup 3rd round, or if you're a Brentford fan, you can tell us what went wrong at Plymouth Argyle, coming to the GTEC Community Stadium and shocking you. Argyle fans, I know you want to give us a call. The number, as always, 03717 22 3344. You can go on WhatsApp at the same number. Give us a voice note as well with your reaction to the day that you've had. Call us now. We'll give you a call back when the show starts as well. That coming up very, very shortly. The man taking the match ball off the field of play at the Etihad is James McAtee, the England under-21 needs a loan, though, doesn't he? He was on loan last year at Sheffield United. He showed us this evening, wasn't a perfect performance from him, but what a threat he can be and what quality he does have.
Yeah, obviously, we know the quality he has. I think most of these moves now for these young guys is the right move. Going to a team that plays like City, that goes, not when I say plays like City, not expecting them to win every week, but plays good football, plays the right way. Is he going to go to a place where he could get into a position to show Pep, if you put me in your team, I could do these things? When he was at Sheffield United last year, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I think if you get some loan move now, I'd like him to go to a championship team that are able to go on then, young man, go and flourish. And then when you see performances like this, he can play anywhere, the 8, the 6, or at the end as he does on the wide areas.
It's interesting you say a championship team. Do you not feel he's yet shown that he can command a place even lower down in the Premier League, help one of those teams towards the bottom?
No, not yet, because he hasn't played enough in the Premier League to do that. And also the problem you've got when you go, this is what I'm talking about, the type of loan. He could go to a team that's struggling. If the struggling team keeps playing and losing, his confidence dips. Right now, he's felt that last year. He needs to go somewhere where he can be confident, get used to scoring, get used to delivering. And if he does that on a regular basis, then he'll come back into this team and be full of confidence. Playing for Man City at the top of the Premier League, the biggest expectation is that you are used to winning on a regular basis. Being at the bottom of the Premier League, you win once a month if you're lucky. Do you get what I mean? It's a massive difference.
Yeah. Especially for a player with his qualities in terms of the attacking part of the pitch. He'll want to showcase that as much as he can. Maybe he wouldn't get that opportunity lower down the table. There is a rarity that we saw this afternoon, not just a hat-trick from James McAtee. Let's talk about Jack Grealish. His first goal in 38 games for City came from the penalty spot. And it's interesting, at one point, shortly after the goal, City 4-0 up at that point, his manager Pep Guardiola in his face, pointing, shouting, grabbing his arm, which, by the way, isn't necessarily a negative when it comes to how Pep Guardiola kind of discusses football with his players during a match. But ultimately, what it shows is his manager wants something. You know, that could be a very good sign for Jack Grealish. What did you make of his performance and where his career is right now?
Two completely different questions. So the first one for today, I thought he was excellent today. Hasn't played a lot of football, was again in that midfield central area, which I would like to see him in more often. If you remember the 2 games he played for England in there, did really well, obviously scored in both. He actually did it earlier on in the season in the Premier League against Nottingham Forest, had a really good performance. I think he can get lost in games when he's out on his left or right hand side waiting for the ball. Where he's in the middle of the park, he can go and get regular touches. For his season and his career, it's about staying fit. It's about staying healthy. You saw towards the last 5-6 minutes of the game, started cramping up because he hasn't played that many minutes. But the one thing I did see, and I want to really emphasise, is if you expect Jack Grealish to score 20 goals in a season, you've not been watching Jack Grealish for a long time. He doesn't score 20 goals. He drags 2, 3, 4 players, and it allows space for other people. He drags you up the pitch. And what I seen in the last 20, 25 minutes was Jack Grealish with a smile on his face, which we haven't seen for nearly 2 years now. So excellent for him, excellent for Pep, but there's still work to be done. I'm not here saying Jack Grealish is back, oh my God, should start.
I genuinely think Jeremy Docker, you saw him in that first half in particular on that left-hand side. We see the difference in dynamism, speed, directness, and in terms of getting into that penalty area and getting shots off and crosses into the box. A very different kind of player than Jack Grealish out on that left-hand side. I feel now we're entering the last 6 months of Jack Grealish in a Manchester City shirt. I feel like he might be playing for his future if he is to stay here any longer than that, because, you know, and I truly believe this, I'm not just saying it, I feel it started the moment they won the treble. Jack Grealish, we all saw the pictures, 4-day bender, Jack the Lad reputation, went still looking drunk to the England camp 4 days later, didn't he? You know, the nation lapped it up. We all thought it was hilarious. We were all sending the memes around. Jack Grealish lost his place with England when it came to the Euros last summer. He hasn't got himself back into the Manchester City team on a regular basis. Yes, there have been injuries in that period of time, but I wonder whether Pep Guardiola, the levels, the standards that he sets, has seen that and thought, we maybe will need to move in a different direction. Jack Grealish getting older, not getting any younger, doesn't help the situation either.
I disagree. I disagree with what you're saying. I think
it's okay
when you're in a situation you've just won the treble, you're not supposed to celebrate. Everyone celebrates. The problem was he did it publicly. And then if you're in a situation where you go, that's what you're holding against him, I'm just looking through some stats.
I'm not holding it against
not
him.
you. I'm on about the manager, both England and at Man City.
What would it happen if you did that at Watford?
Yeah.
What do you feel like your managers, your club would have felt about it?
They'd probably seen it and probably gave me a new contract. That's the difference. Because I went and performed again the week after. That's the difference, is staying fit and being able to do it. Listen, Jack Grealish didn't become Jack Grealish the party animal last season. You knew what you was getting when you bought him. He's a mature young man who's growing and developing time after time. Has he made mistakes? Of course he has. But when you look through this, so last season, 36 games, 3 goals, 3 assists. I didn't remember any single person saying, "Oh my God, get rid of Jack Grealish." He's on course now. 20 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. So he's actually on course to finish the same as he did last season. The season before, 50 games, 5 goals, 11 assists. No one was screaming, get rid of Jack Grealish. It's just at a point, unfortunately, where this team hasn't been the same team as it was. But I just feel that with certain individuals, it's easy to go, what about Jack Grealish? Has Phil Foden lit it up this season?
No.
Has he been held to the same standard as last season? No. Haaland? No. Kevin De Bruyne? No. You see, he starts going through, but because, as you say, we saw that iconic picture. We see that he had a couple of days on the cans, as he should, because he's earned it. Now it's an opportunity to get on him. Let the young man be. Let him do what he's doing. If they are to move on, that's football. But I'll tell you what, when he lands, Man United will take him. Spurs will take him. Probably argue, Arsenal will take him. So he's not going to exactly go from there and just start all of a sudden playing for Accrington Stanley. No disrespect to Accrington Stanley. But he's a young man, he's 29 years old, has had loads of success, has done really well, and it's great to see him playing. Just give him a bit of breathing space, let him do what he does. But I tell you what, when you talk about Doku, yes, he's athletic, but I tell you what, if Jack kicked the ball off the pitch as many times as that man did, he'd be chastised and be on the back of every paper.
What do we think then? The answer to the point that I made around whether you feel Jack Grealish will be in a Manchester City shirt next season?
Will be based on the end of this season, how he delivers and how he performs.
If you had to say now?
If I had to put my house on it, I'd say he's probably going to move on. And sometimes you could overstay your welcome. What would that be? 5 years at City. He's won more or less everything. He's been in a great situation. And I think every single one of us was saying we needed Jack Grealish going into that Euros. That hampered us. It didn't benefit us.
Yeah. So I would have started him in my 11. I think he's a brilliant player.
There you go. So we're in a situation where this young man he's showing what he can do. He's in a wonderful position, but he has to stay fit. And as you creep up to 30, because I've been there, when you creep up to 30 and you're drinking and you're having a bit of a lifestyle, you've got to tweak that because the injuries start kicking in. And unfortunately, when he's injured, they are going to label that because they wanted to.